Ingus, welcome to the Sae Bae cast. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
I am wonderful, and it's great to hear your voice. I've been binging your videos as of late. I was just talking before the recording. My girlfriend watches a lot of OSRS creators. She's a huge OSRS player as well, so she's always like watching stuff on her monitor and stuff, and so I'll like peek over when we're playing together. And she's been watching a lot of your videos, and then I kind of got hooked. I was like, who is this dude? And then I was like, oh my god, that's Ingus. Like, I've seen Ingus. I have heard Ingus a million times. I've even seen those like Reddit posts where they're like, who's your favorite creator and stuff, and Ingus is brought up. And I remember Jeoparite, actually, before I'd even watched his series, that was another name that was always recommended, and I finally got around to watching him. So just as of late, the last 2 months or so, I've been really enjoying your content, and I'm a huge fan. So I'm really excited for this conversation. Got a lot of questions, but how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. It's actually it's so strange to hear that because like I live in a bubble. I would say like I don't really like I'm not really like seeing a lot of feedback of like who watches my content and who doesn't. I mostly just play the game and enjoy it and like make videos about it, you know. So
Yeah, it's pure. The way you do it, it feels more pure. I don't know, because it really just does feel like you're just playing the game to progress your account and to have fun. And you're like in Discord. Like, I just watched your latest Tombs of a Massacre video, and just, dude, you were just having the time of your life. It seems like even when things go to shit, you're still having fun, and you're really pouring your heart and soul into these videos. And I'm just super impressed. I actually think that is a really healthy formula for content creation, is just play the game and have fun. And I feel like that's something I've missed over the years.
it's funny because like when I started like, okay, I mean I've been playing for a long time, but when I started making videos, I remember I was still reading every blog. I was still watching every like update like a hawk, you know, like can I make money here? Like, is there a merch on these? Are they going to change the superior dragon bone drop table on the podcast? And then I buy a bunch, and I was there for that. By the way, I had like 100 mil bank. I remember one of my best merches was when they subtly nodded to the fact like they're gonna remove the superior dragon bones from rune dragons and adamant dragons or something.
Yeah.
They nodded to it, and they're like, oh, we shouldn't have said that, but it's okay, we'll just move on. And then me and my friend were like, yo, we gotta buy these bones, man. So we did, and we made a good profit from that. And I mean, like, I didn't have that big of a bank, but like I was a noob, you know. I had, you know, it was huge for me. So
yeah. What was that, your biggest merch, you think? Do you remember the Zolratellis?
Zolratellis? Oh,
do you remember that time?
Which time? Like,
so
it's been changed a few times.
Yeah, so in the very early days of Zolra scrolls were like 100 GP each, because they were just being shat out like nonstop. Like the drop table.
Oh, right.
Was super generous. And then some dude, the reason I always like this story always sticks with me is because some dude had sold like, I don't even know, some ridiculous ungodly amount of his scrolls right before the update, where they changed it so you only got like one scroll every, I don't even know, like 10 kills or something. They eventually changed it again to where you got like 4 scrolls every so often, but they had shot up from like 100 GP to like 50k or something. And this dude was holding like, I don't even know, like 100,000 of these scrolls. Like, he lost like billions from just literally selling like a week early or something. So that was one of the craziest merches for people that actually held onto those scrolls.
Yeah, I don't know what my best merch would be. I mean, I have like I have a lot of failed merches, but not really like break the bank, like I'm gonna make money and get out of this thing. Is more my I guess philosophy when it comes to merching is like I'm just not that like disciplined about like buying items, selling items, and like I don't like to do all the flipping stuff. It's just, to me, it's not that fun. Like if I was gonna have like a financial simulator, I'll just play one of those, you know. I enjoy killing the bosses and making money that way. So usually my merches these days are just like an off like a whisper in the dark. Like a friend mentioned something, like, oh, that might be interesting, I should buy that. Like for example, Maggot King came out, and the night before, it was like right when I was wrapping up the TOA video. The night before, I was looking. I was like, you know what? Maybe we should get a harm orb. You know, it looks like in the trailer they're killing with fire surge. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll get a. I told my friend, I'm like, hey, I should pick one up before I log out before they update tomorrow. Totally forgot. Totally forgot.
No.
And now I had to pay a little extra for it. So that was a bummer. But yeah, that happens to me all the time. I just forget to buy stuff and
Yeah.
So I'm definitely not the guy to ask about merges, like unless you want to lose money.
Well, I'm not either. I've been exclusively Iron Man player since, well, let me think, 2016. I think as soon as Hardcore Iron Man came out, that's when I just took the what is it, red pill, blue pill, whatever one is the Iron Man mode. That's the one I took, and from then on, I've been so Iron Man coded like for this whole time. So merching to me doesn't make sense. Trading has only just begun to make a little bit of sense because I'm now playing a game with my girlfriend. So like we actually have to trade occasionally, which is weird because I actually hid the trade button for years because I was just never using it.
Yeah.
But you have been exclusively a main account. Like, do you play Iron Man at all? Have you touched it?
So I've played a couple. Well, actually, some of my first videos, which some people might get mad at me, but I enlisted a few, mostly because I feel like where my channel is now is like all about the main account, right? Yeah. So and I feel like those videos were like, they're cute, but like also it doesn't really reflect the story that I'm actively telling these days.
Yeah.
Which is all about this account. So I have tried Iron Man a few times. First couple accounts didn't really get that far. I've tried. I did a group Iron Man with some friends when that came out, and group Ironmans, how they typically fall. If you're not in like a very dedicated like content creator group, or like really close friend group that are all obsessed about the game, it eventually dies out. Yeah. So I played Gim a little bit. I've played on some other account. Well, I've never really gotten that far playing it though. I probably get to about like Quest Cape mid game. And then, I'm like, I kind of want to go play my main. So, because like my main can just do everything that I would be able to do on those accounts, but better. Every time I do try Iron Man or like for a league, for example, I scratch that itch mostly from if I play a league or like some random account that I've had. But I never really record content on it these days.
Okay. And I feel like, before the call, we were also talking, a lot of content creators these days, like you really have to play the game with the focus on content creation. So if you were to split your time between an Iron Man or a Gim but be exclusively making main content, that wouldn't really make much sense. So
it's kind of funny. The biggest criticism I always get in the comments is like, you don't even upload that much. I'm like, brother, do you see the titles of my videos? Like, I'm not, it's not like I'm like spending a week on this. Like, that's like the minimum is like a week. And like, not like my real life week, which is probably like 4 days. I'm a dad. I got 2 kids. Some of my time, I'm not playing the game 24/7, even though, I probably would like to sometimes, but, my week is 4 days typically to record stuff and get stuff done. Maybe some stuff on the weekend here and there, but ultimately 4 days. So my week is more like 2 weeks basically to record.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. I mean, you can't just be popping out videos twice a week or however often people want. So, and I mean, man, like I said in the beginning, like you really put your all. At least to me, it looks like maybe you're only putting in half effort, but it's still great effort. But you're putting in some amazing edits into your videos, and I just feel like, and again, I have started my little hardcore series earlier this year, and since the last upload, it's almost been 2 months because I've just been collecting clips and stuff and trying to figure out like potentially a new formula of how I want to make my videos, because I don't feel like I've landed on that. I see your content, I'm like, I feel like you've hit the jackpot with the formula, you know, like your formula is hitting every video. But one of the cool things about your videos is that I feel like it's easy to follow. Like I know what I'm getting into, and then the way you switch edits and stuff and just make it seem so seamless, like it's an art, man. And I actually wanted to kind of delve into this a little bit. Like, what is your history with editing skills and stuff? Was this all from RuneScape, or did you make videos before all this?
Let's see. So the short answer is it's pretty much all from RuneScape. The long answer is I was in college towards the end of my degree, and I was at a college where you can kind of pick your own, like, it was a liberal arts college, but it was very open, and you could just pick like whatever you wanted to study. Kind of sounds silly, right? But that's where I went. That's where I wanted to go. And towards the end, I started getting into like content creation and just like thinking about like, that sounds like a fun job. Like that sounds like a fun thing to do and make a living if you could make it work. And so towards the end, I started looking into like editing software and stuff, but I was like not good at all. And in fact, it's funny that you like had messaged me about doing this podcast, because one of my first projects was actually a podcast. Like back in 2017 or 2016, something around there. I first played with the idea of a podcast, and it was completely not RuneScape related. And please don't do any research and look this up. Let's leave that in the past. But it's not very good, I don't think. But I played with that for a little bit, and I really got into like audio kind of, I won't say engineering, but kind of like that, like really the basics of audio engineering and like going through sounds and waveforms and stuff. And just like getting used to cutting stuff in, I think it was Adobe Audition I was using. And then I graduated, got depressed. No, I graduated, didn't really know how, you know, I was looking for jobs and stuff. And, you know, it was kind of a lower point. So like, you know, I wasn't getting any bites, and I was like, well, what else can I do? I don't know. I'm just working, you know, I was working at the restaurant. I was working at another place as well that I had volunteered at and then turned into a job. So I had a couple like part-time jobs. And then I was like, well, maybe if, what's something I could do forever? Like, that's the question I asked myself. What's something I could do like forever? I was like, I know, RuneScape. I played this all my life. Like, duh. Like, it's right there. Yeah. So, and I think the real thing that pushed me over the edge to just give it a try was the Grandmaster, Mr. Settled. When he came out with Swampletics, like the first few episodes, it was right at this same time. And I was watching, I was like, dude, I know how to do this. Like, not like in an egotistical way, but more just like, I can see what he's doing here. He's presenting his RuneScape account in a really delectable way. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it's mostly just a presentation. And coming out of college, you know, that was my bread and butter, was presentations. I was the presentation king. You know, I would go up there with my PowerPoints and I would talk about things, and I would really like think about the best ways to like hook people in. So like you could see all the like little foundation points were like there for this, I think, looking back.
What made you good at just presentations? Has this been a thing like since childhood, where you've just been really good at thinking of a way to present something clearly and precisely and interestingly to people?
I don't know. See, I've always had like those nerves, you know, getting up on stage in front of the class, all that sort of thing. I don't know if it was ever fully realized that I was decent at it. It was more just like Well, I think actually going rewind even a little bit more than that. I think the presentation is just a product of having really thought things out and written something good. Because like you can wing good presentations, of course, but I think like foundationally you have to have really good writing when it comes down to it. Like a really good script, a really good like bullet points of like what you're talking about. So I guess when it goes back to like how did I get good at presentations? Probably I've always wanted to be a writer. Back when I was a kid, I've always been kind of like I've always read a little bit higher grade level than I was supposed to. My mom, I think, really drilled that into me. Like she's not the biggest reader, but my grandma is, and she always like was like on me about like read your books. You're not allowed to play video games. You have to read books. I'm like, okay. So that's what I did. I just read a lot when I was a kid. I think the first biggest novel that I tackled when I was like in, I want to say second grade, was Aragon. I don't know if you've read that book.
Yeah,
the Blue Dragon one. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I was reading that in second grade, and like I think my friend showed it to me, and he was also reading like crazy books at that age, and I was like, "Yo, this is cool, dragons!" Like, so yeah. I think it starts from there of like my love of like fantasy and fiction and writing, and then as I grew older and went through the school system, I learned about like creative writing and that sort of thing, and like persuasive writing, and I kind of ended up in college at a liberal arts school. So I started learning. So I really started honing that skill that was already, well, maybe not skill, but I started honing that part of me a lot more in college. And so by the time I was starting to get into content, like I feel like I kind of like, and obviously I was not great when I started out, but I think like the foundation was already there. Like the wiring was there, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So you're saying, the scripting and just coming out with an actual structure is really what's gonna make a video great. So what is like your process when coming up with a video for one, and then are you like physically writing on a notepad what you're doing? Are you typing it up? And then how much do you wing on your videos as well? Because I feel like obviously you're recording in the moment, at least if you're not, that's very impressive. But I know you are, because you're having Discord calls with people and stuff. So you pull in that, but then you also have the little out of the live portion segments where you're just kind of narrating what's going on. And I wonder like how much of that is like scripted down previously, and are you in the middle of editing while you're writing this, or is it all sort of written out and then you begin the editing process?
Yeah, so maybe this might surprise people, but I straight up like I have an idea. The way I approach content is like what kind of grinds and like content in the game do I want to complete on my account? And then once I have a pathway for that, which I don't know if you could tell like by my videos, like with first there's like Dream Gear was a pretty like my first like big break, I guess if you want to call it. That was a little bit more way more unstructured, but it was very driven by like I just want to get some money on this account. Like I'm broke, guys. Come on. My second series was like, which I like to call Dream Gear 2 / Circles of Hell. I kind of like I'm not very like concise and like keeping that or consistent when I was making that, but I call it Circles of Hell. And I basically like took like some of the bosses that I wanted to try out in camp, and just found a place for them narratively using Dante's Inferno. And like I thought it was fun. It kind of gave meaning to what I was doing a little bit more. Like obviously like when you're playing RuneScape, you're grinding a lot. And okay, so here's like the foundation of like where my evolution for content creation. So the end of Dream Gear, I had the Nightmare video, and I didn't fully realize it at the time, but I had basically cracked the code on like what I was supposed to do for my channel. It took me like a year or two after that to figure out like, oh, that I should just do that, like that just keep doing that, different bosses, that'd be fun, right? In hindsight, it makes sense, but at the time I didn't know. Eventually I realized that, and I was like, wait, why don't I just try making that, but more bosses, camp more bosses, each one's a boss. I'd stay there as long as I can for like certain thing. And then, you know, I have my thumbnails, everything, it would work out pretty well. It looked pretty cool. So I did that, and I gotta say, like, I didn't really have any bosses in mind particularly, except for one thing. The one thing I was sure of was the end of the series, which is going to be Theater of Blood. I always knew ever since I started Theater of Blood, I had to go back and I wanted to grind it all the way, like all the way to Greenlock. So I knew that from the beginning when I started that series. The rest of the bosses, I kind of just found bosses that sounded cool or like they fit for like the Dante's thing. And I was like, all right, this boss goes here, this boss goes here, this would make sense to me. You know, I don't know. I'm just going off of whatever, you know, sounds fun, you know? And that's how I did it. Like for that series, I guess.
Okay, so I mean, when I'm looking, because you said something about you having unlisted some of your videos, and I'm seeing like, dude, your whole catalog is just banger after banger after banger. It's just like, there's no misses really when I'm looking at like just view count and everything. So how many, if you don't mind me asking, like how many videos have you unlisted? And like, did you have series that just kind of flopped? Or just videos, like one-off videos that kind of flopped, and you're just like, I want.
Yeah. So remember the whole like settled inspiration thing. So yeah. I tried doing this thing called a pirate UIM, which is hilarious because that's what he's actually doing right now. Yeah. But one of my first accounts was a pirate UIM, and my idea was I would basically restrict the account to only ports. Because there's no sailing, there's no ocean. Ports and islands was the restriction. The problem with that was there was just no, at the time of the game too, there's like way less like plugin capabilities for RuneLite. Like it was just a mess trying to create that way. Like the rules just weren't very elegant. There was a lot of like, oh, what about this? What about that type of deal?
Yeah.
So eventually I just dropped it because I was like, yeah, this isn't going to work. I also did a short, like, kind of more, I don't know how to say it. Like, it was on my main account, but it was kind of a blend of tedious generate task. I literally ripped some of his, like, spreadsheet architecture and then just, like, created stuff like tasks that I wanted to do on my account, and then just hit generate and like just like did it like that, like on a main account, and just gave me something to do, like different stuff to try. That was more of like a very casual, like I wasn't really in like trying to, I don't really know what I was doing, but I was just playing the game, you know, I was just enjoying stuff. And then I think it was right after that when eventually it wasn't getting that many views though. So I was like, well, if I want this to work, I have to like find something. And so that's when I was doing what I noticed was I really enjoyed doing raids with my friends in the Discord call, clowning on each other. I had like a couple IRL friends in there too. Like we were just all like playing the game and talking shit and just having a good time. And I started, since I had like been making some videos, I started saving clips. And then eventually I was like, well, I had like built up a bunch of clips, like, well, why don't I just like make a video out of this? Like like I obviously like I enjoy doing this, so that's got to be like the right thing to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how this current account was born. I put on the Twisted Relic Hunter set, and then forged my new identity, and yeah, now we're here.
Dude, it's when you know, because looking now, it looks like just all the videos were just immediate bangers. Was that the case? Was it just immediately when you uploaded that, it was just like, all right, this is clearly working?
Yeah, the first one, yeah. I had like one. Let me see here. Maybe I can like just send it to you.
Sure.
So you can see the analytics of my first like pirate UIM one. That was like, it's one of the first videos I actually made. It's unlisted now because I don't want anyone to watch it. Here, let me find it.
Oh my god.
I'll screenshot it to you. Okay, so that one, I think it got like 60K views the first time because I was riding the UIM restricted wave for a hot minute. But then the views went down because I didn't really know what I was doing. Like, you know.
Okay. Well, damn, that kind of popped off, dude.
Yeah. So that was like one of my first videos. So I didn't know what I was like doing. Like, just imagine someone just hands you a Lamborghini. It's like, all right, go, good luck, and you don't even have your driver's license. It's like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. So, you know, that series didn't really work out. But
okay, was it just like immediate episode 2 flop, sort of, or was it just this continuous like, all right, like losing interest, or were you just not having as much fun?
I think is the first like 3 were like at 30K, or no, the first 3 after that were like 30K, and then 20K, 18K, 15K, 15K. So it like slowly was like going down because I didn't know how to hold people for a series, right? Okay. So, but yeah. But when I made the first Dream Gear episode, when I was just raiding with my buddies, that one popped off pretty well. Like it was about like 80K in the first month or something. And so then I was like, okay, I can't mess this up. Like, I did it again. Don't mess this up, Tristan. That's my name, Tristan. Yeah. Or Ingus, if you want to call me. Don't mess this up. Yeah.
Nice. And then you didn't mess it up, clearly.
Yeah. I mean, there was definitely some mess ups, some hiccups here and there since then. But, I mean, overall, I think I found my groove, you know?
Let me ask about the thumbnail art. Is this all your art, or do you hire somebody?
Yeah, I've made all my thumbnails.
Okay.
In fact, I've made everything on my channel myself.
Oh, wow. So you've never hired anybody for anything, really?
No.
Okay.
I sometimes dream about it. Like, I'll think about like, should I get a thumbnail artist for this? But at the end of the day, I think now I have my thumbnail pretty nailed down.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take me too long to get a decent like looking thing.
Yeah. Do you think the you know, because YouTube really these days is a lot about the title and the thumbnail, and so obviously if you need to get people to click, and then luckily you have great content as well, so the click is not, you know, one of those ones where they just click away. Like they definitely get sucked in, I think. But you know, you clearly have this formula with the titles, and you obviously have a formula with the thumbnails, with the guy facing toward you in the middle, with the loot. I have it pulled up on my end too for those watching. But what like, you know, it feels like the evolution of OSRS thumbnails over the years, over the last decade and stuff, have definitely evolved, and we came into like the Blender scene for a bit, where everything was like Blenderized and stuff. We still have a little bit of that, but I feel like it's kind of faded. Do you feel like this just ends up working and then you'll eventually change it, or is this kind of like your identity now, where it's like, I'm just gonna keep leaning into this unless it's just clearly at some point like people just lose interest in this? Like, I just always wonder, because it does feel, at least in my opinion, like overused almost, but at the same time it's working and I click them. So I'm like, do you ever have that thought of like, maybe I should like change up the thumbnails, or is it just like, nah, like it works, we're good?
I think it works. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm still recording on the same exact account. I'm still making a series about the same account. I feel like these thumbnails are kind of like the identity of the account. So like, and I feel like it's at a point where it's kind of iconic where like, if you see this in the feed, you're like, oh, that's the Ingus thumbnail. Like other people definitely like, you know, it's YouTube. Everyone kind of like tries out each other's stuff and like tries out, oh, what if I try out a thumbnail like Ingus's? What if I try out a thumbnail like Settled, of course? What if I try out a thumbnail like Frames? You always have like that. It's YouTube, right? Yeah. But I think I've definitely laid a stake in this thumbnail. It is my thumbnail. It is my title. It is my thumbnail. No touchy. I mean, you could touch it, but I don't know if it'll work because like I think
people will click on it and be like, I thought this was an Ingus video. It's not. What the hell is this?
Exactly. And you know, it's people think of it as mine, so it's like I may as well just keep going with it, especially for this account for sure. Yeah. Maybe if I started another series or I wanted to do like a mini series or a side project or something, I would kind of try out something new. But I don't know. I think it's something really linear and elegant about having the same format. I think you know that's what people expect. Is it's easy to find. If that makes sense.
Okay, well, I want to talk about the game, but I need to just there's like one or two more questions I have on just the content scene for now, which is, you know what I'm impressed by again is, so your latest video on the Tombs of a Mascot one, you show your fails. Like you go in and you just lean into how bad you were at the content at first, which is like, especially by the end of the video, you're actually very, very competent at the content. And I feel like a lot of creators that would have, I don't know, maybe an ego toward the game would be like, I'm not showing this footage. Like, fuck that. I'm not going to show the one where I'm dying in Monkey Room or dying to stupid waves over and over, because you're now good at it. So to show that off, it almost gives a false impression of like how good you are at it now, you know? And I feel like there are a lot of content creators out there, especially like PVMers, that like don't want to show the learning process, don't want to show like all the fails they had. They just want to show like the finished, polished, you know, just I'm really good at this piece of content now, and that's how people are going to perceive me. But so I thought it was extremely refreshing to see the whole learning process, the growth, the getting better at the content, and just that whole journey. And honestly, it was just such a pleasure to watch that and to be like, this dude is just having fun. There's like, it doesn't feel like there's any ego to it. He's just showing off exactly where he's fallen short. And I was impressed by that. Did you have any thoughts going into it of like, should I show this stuff or should I just kind of like pretend I was already better at it? Because in your previous videos, you're very competent in everything you're doing, you know, at least the videos I've seen so far. So to see that, I was like, oh, this guy does have to learn. He's not just a PVM wizard from the get-go.
Yeah, I think I don't think anyone's a PVM wizard. I think they're all liars.
Yeah, they're
liars. Because RuneScape is the type of game where a lot of content is different and it becomes like ingrained in you the longer you spend time with it. And maybe that's a moral for life. You know, the longer you spend time at something, the better you get at it. Yeah. So like RuneScape, especially for these grinds, like some of these grinds I've had to do, like Vorkath, like you get in there and like you're at first you're bad, right? You don't know what's going on. You're kind of like, okay, what is this attack? Do I do the prayer here? Do I move here? And then you slowly build up this competency with the content or the boss, and then you're good. And then people look up to you. Then people are like, oh, this guy games hard. But really, every time I go to a new piece of content, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't really like I'm at a stage with my relationship with the game. I don't really watch any guides. I don't really like keep up with like, oh, what's the new boss? What's the new strategy for the new boss that just came out today? Speaking of, there was a new boss that came out today. Yeah. But with the Wormscraig one, I don't really watch day one stuff like that anymore. I just think it's more fun to kind of like keep it a mystery until I get to that point. And maybe I'll pull up there, I'll look up a wiki inventory setup or something, and like be like, okay, I should probably bring anti-poison, I should bring this, and then I just kind of jump into it. I feel like that's just a more fun way to play, number one. And number two, as far as like some people, I get these comments a lot too. Exactly what you're saying is like, he was so good at the last content. Now there's no way this man has Blorva and is dying in the monkey room,
Yeah.
But it's honest, dude. I'm not perfect. I forget to bring a blowpipe places sometimes, and that's a funny clip. I'm going to save that, and I think it's important to show where I'm starting, and then because I know after having made so many of these, I know I'm going to get better at it. Yeah. So I think it just tells a better story if I'm being honest about where I am as far as skill wise for whichever video I'm trying to make.
Yeah, it's very refreshing. And I think it also gives a little bit of extra hope to those that are maybe wanting to get into PVM and haven't, because if they see a dude with Blood Torva and then you just don't show the clips of you failing and you're just instantly good at it, you just make a video of you already rolling up to 500s, people are gonna be like, what the fuck, like how do you just get good at this game? And I think that learning process is just kind of an eye-opener to a lot of people, and I think it's almost missing. So I was very, very happy to see all that.
Because I was talking to a friend. One of my friends was saying like the other day, he was saying like, it's so funny, like in RuneScape, everyone always tries to make things seem like they're harder than they actually are. Like every time, dude. It doesn't matter what new update or something, the new bot, they always try to like talk it up and be like, dude, this is so hard, and then you go there, you're like, oh, it's just this, like
There are, what, let me ask you about this. We'll kind of switch gears a little bit and talk about some game discussion. What were your thoughts on the Inferno? Believe it or not, I actually went onto your Twitch channel just before the podcast. I followed. It doesn't seem like you've streamed in a minute there, but I was looking through some clips and I saw some Inferno clips, and it was like 6 years ago or something. So Inferno to me was like, okay, this really does feel like a next level encounter that like nobody's ever seen, especially for the time period. And even today, it's like, okay, a lot of bosses, a lot of solo experiences where you're just going in there and killing a boss, learning it. Like, yeah, it's kind of difficult, but you pick it up pretty quickly. Inferno, something that's that like drawn out, is very, very daunting. And I feel like is something where you don't just go into and be like, oh, it's just, people talked it up. It's like, no, it lived up to the talk. So let me ask you about your Inferno journey and how that was, and maybe how it contrasts to like different pieces of PVM content.
I think at the time that I started Inferno, I think my only like really PVM experience was Chambers and a little bit of Theater Blood, and like, a couple Slayer bosses here and there. But back then in 2020, there was nothing like outside of that. It was Slayer bosses like Cerberus, Kraken, those guys.
Kraken, yeah. Kraken and Thermi. There you go. Yeah,
there was now. Fight caves. There was raids 1, raids 2. Theater of Blood was like the pinnacle of content.
I guess you had God Wars too. If you like soloed it, that was pretty difficult.
God Wars, but like even then, like back then, there's no, not that it might have been underground, but there's no like red Xing or run around with the shadow blast and bandos. Like there's none of that really.
True.
So dude, it was such a weird different time. And I think when I did my Inferno runs, I was in Armadale probably. I don't know. No Lightbearer. This is like, summer of 2020. Now, I remember being very frustrated learning that, because Inferno definitely is one of those ones where when you first start learning it, it really immediately shows all your faults as a player. Because usually when you're getting into Inferno, you have you have so many, like, you may have like been raiding with your buddies or went to a bandos trip here and there, but you're probably not grinding hard on the game. You're probably not really understanding like core mechanics, like the way ticks work, the way air flicking works, the way movement works, the way like off ticking and stuff. Like you probably don't understand any of that, or you just have like a loose, vague idea. At least I didn't. So I just threw myself into there and did a run, watch Adicon's guide or whoever, did another run, watch, like it was like a full on like research process of like, how do I beat this thing,
Yep.
I definitely think Inferno holds up. It's gotten way easier. I think I saw that auto Zuck method thing.
Yeah.
By,
what the hell was that? That was crazy.
See, I feel like that's almost more trouble than it's worth.
It is 100%. Like you'd have to be a very skilled player to even pull that off, because just the whole, I don't know, logging out and stuff and getting that tick perfect and then like lining yourself up and stuff. And just, I feel like I would just be panicking too. Plus none of it was 100% guaranteed. It was just like a good chance, basically a good probability of surviving. But
it's kind of just a fun little thing you can do. Yeah, I don't know if beginners are actually going to be able to use that to get their first cape. I feel like just maging it with Justy is probably easier than doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was some crazy tech though. It feels like we're gonna get to the point though where gear does get just so much more overpowered that Inferno really will just be kind of a cakewalk. I think there's always the cool thing about Inferno though is that there always is that pressure at the end, and there is the one-shot mechanics at the end. Like you got Zuck, you got 5 total Jads to kill. You got the first one, then the triples, then the one on Zuck, and those can one bang you as well. So I feel like all those nerves, even if everything else is super easy, you still have that time commitment, and then the shaky hands come in and the sweaty palms and whatever. So,
dude, I still have some friends that don't have their Inferno cape, and if you're listening to this, you know exactly who you are. But yes, they and I get it, I understand, but yeah, it's very much like you don't want to go in and just like spend 2 hours of your day off, or you're home from work. You don't want to. A lot of people don't want to go into the Inferno after a long day at work. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, we're all a lot older and stuff, so yeah, I get it, but it's fun.
even a fight cave attempt. I mean, I hate to admit this, but on my, what was it? I think it was my hardcore that did it. Like I was really fucking tired, but like I pulled up to Jad at the very end of the fight caves. The fight caves to me is just super, super easy, but I was just so brain off that I died to Jad, and of course he one banged me and stuff, and I had to go back in. And like even that time commitment of like being on an early hardcore and doing your fight cave, like it's obviously a safe death. It wasn't a group hardcore or anything, so I just went back.
Yeah, but I mean it's still like an hour to 2 hours to like run, and your damage sucks. Like you have a magic short bow or something.
It was fucking terrible feeling. Also, you have to do all this shit again. Like, god damn it. So the Inferno for me, I mean, I got mine in 2018. It was like right before TOB release is when I got mine. And
okay.
It took me about I was in college, and it took me about 12 days, and I was doing about 1 to 2 attempts a day, mostly just one, unless I would fail, at like wave 30 or something. I'd just go right back in. But every single time I failed, there's just like the biggest pit in my stomach, and I just felt so crap. And I'm like, I don't want to fucking do this again. Like, this is terrible. Because I was doing like the SGS milking and everything like that, just like wasting so much time just trying to be prepared for every next wave. And I had a T-bow, but I got very lucky on a T-bow, which is why I even attempted the Inferno in the first place. But I had Eagle Eye, and I had like Arims and whatever else I was. I don't know.
There's no prayer regenerations or all the fancy little stuff we got today. Back in my day, man.
Yeah. So it was a little bit more brutal, but yeah, I mean, that feeling though of completing that was unlike anything else when it came to PVM challenges.
Without a doubt. When I got that, when you finally get through to the very end, and then like, man, there's nothing like it in the game, probably. Like, as far as challenges, maybe Blorva,
Yeah,
Maybe
Blorva
Radiant too, I guess.
but I feel like at that point, like the stepping stone from basically Fire Cape to Infernal Cape is so massive of a leap. Whereas Infernal, and by that point, you've probably already done some crazy other feats, potentially, and just like really gotten your bearings with PVM. Getting Blorva at the end of the day is like, it's not as quite a big of a leap from Infernal.
And plus, with that, there's not a big time investment if you don't want it to be. You could just be like, oh, I'll send a couple attempts, and if I don't, I'll just go do something else.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, the Inferno was something else. Have you, it sounds like you're getting very close to Zuckhelm, if I'm not mistaken. What's your CAs right now?
My combat achievement here. Let me jump back in.
Yeah.
I think I'm close to 600. I don't know. 571. They keep adding more.
Yeah.
571 though.
Okay. How confident do you feel about completing that? Is it just a matter of time? You're not like stressing?
Oh, it's just a matter of time. I'll get it. I kind of like, I mean, I feel like if I just wanted it, like right now I could just go get it. I already have like all the difficult, like notorious ones, right? Like I already have all the raids done. That's a big chunk, you know?
Yeah.
Mostly just missing stuff like I haven't done. Like I just haven't made videos about really. It's like Inferno. Haven't done any of those. I still only have one Zut KC on this account, which is hilarious. People ask me about that all the time. But I'm like, we'll get there, guys. Don't worry. Like you think I'm just gonna not do that? Like
you may as well keep milking it anyway, because it's, you know, you want to get those dual wield crossbows, you know, that use that at the Inferno instead of a shitty.
Oh yes, dude. And we got the range. We just got the rupture and the new arrows. And I've been seeing some people do like a sub 37 now or something, or going for it. I can't remember.
Yeah, no, that was what was his name? What Addy? Is that what I'm thinking? Addy 9 or something, or what's his name?
What's like what's your name? You have a weird name. It has a number at the end, sir.
Yeah,
it's a short name.
Is it Addy 9? Emmy. Wait, Ammy 9. That's it.
Ammy 9.
Ammy 9.
Shout out to that guy, dude. I actually, dude, I was watching a run and his thrall like maxed when he needed it or something, and it was insane,
dude. And
it literally gave him like a 3 take PB or something because of that thrall. It's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, let me. I have two branching off questions about this kind of content in general. So I'm on Ammy 9's channel. How, in your view, as you as a content creator, if you were to be just a Giga Chad, amazing world record holder of the Inferno for speedruns, how would you make a video on that to, how would you create a narrative around a speedrun? Because it feels like anybody that's really good at the Inferno just uploads their whole run, and that's the extent of it. And it's like, yeah, that's cool to consume because it's obviously fun to watch if you're just there to just see the mechanical prowess of this dude. But how would you make a settled or an Ingus style video if your whole purpose in the game was to get Inferno PBs? How would you narrate that? How would you edit it properly? I feel like this is an uncracked formula for the super high level gamers. I feel like there's very few of them that have maximized both their PVM talent and also their editing skills. And I wonder, in your head, have you ever considered how you would go about that if you were on that caliber of gaming?
I would say document. I mean, it kind of goes back to any kind of video that I would make probably. It's just at the end of the day, I'm just documenting what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
If something goes wrong, save the clip. If something goes right, save the clip. If something funny happens, save the clip. That's just kind of how I approach content. I think that makes because when you do it that way, when you're thinking oh, was this a funny I'm not trying. I don't really go into any videos and be this is the narrative. I kind of just pick the grind. Because I can't bosses. I pick the boss and then I'm okay, let's go in. I don't even know what the video is going to be about. I kind of discover what the video's about through the process of doing it. Is my approach. And so that's probably how I would handle it. Is I would just, yeah, I would just document what I'm doing, I guess.
Yeah. It's going to be crazy because the sub 37, I mean, conveniently did happen right after the new Seeking Arrows and the new amulet of, or necklace of Rupture. So that obviously is helping. And then after Raids 4, I mean, dude, there's probably going to be him getting like a sub 36 and stuff. And I wonder like how far it can really go after some.
I think the hard part for a lot of those guys,
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. I think the hard part when you're going for that kind of really difficult content is like, you're not really thinking about the story of the content. You're thinking of like, can I actually do this?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Can I actually beat this by 3 seconds? You really have to slow down a little bit and think about like I said before, what kind of like, what are you documenting? What are you saving? And like, don't just throw those clips away. Like, is there a story there? Are you able to like, was this moment like the moment where like, how did you feel when this moment happened? You know, those are really important storytelling beats. And you know, if you really wanted to, because like I think there has been some good like speed running and like some good challenge content, like inside RuneScape and outside RuneScape too, right? Like that definitely has worked before, so it's not impossible to make it happen. You know, I mean, like even like Port Khazard, like, you know, those guys, like those crazy guys. I don't even. Those guys are like 5 tiers above me. Like I get scared thinking about what they are doing in their day to day. You know.
Yeah.
But dude, like, yeah, like that kind of storytelling, like how did you do it, you know?
Yeah, I feel like that actually is unfortunately lost because obviously we just don't have the footage for it, and the people like Exact and Afzal and all these other super giga gamers that were basically pioneering Inferno tech, especially Zuck tech. Like, do you remember the Exact streams where he was? I don't know if you watched them, but he was like,
I was there for those. Yeah,
like stacking all the majors and the rangers just so he could get like that, you know, sub 40, or it was the 40 combat Inferno. And then I think Afzal got I don't want to get this wrong. I think at one point got a 37 combat. I think it's 36 combat, but it could still be 37. I can't remember. But just the craziest stuff to figure that out. Like that, if you documented all that, figuring out what's going on and getting all that into a video, and then like hiring somebody to like put it all together really precisely and just in an entertaining fashion, like that video would just do so well. But of course,
I think it's hard also when you're that like knowledgeable and having grinded hard to get to that level of gameplay. I think it's really hard to bring yourself back down to the viewer's perspective.
It is.
And like explain stuff like they're 5, like, you know, like, and bring them along the journey. Cause you just start throwing out terms like off ticking and, you know, like
straight up,
like it's hard to understand unless you really play the game, you know?
Yeah.
Make it legible is what I would say.
Seriously. It's very, very tough. I mean, I think one of the things that's missing with any sort of, just going back to just speedrunning Inferno videos, is have some sort of initial scene at the beginning of the video, just documenting how fast the Inferno has gone over the years. Like what was the world record back in 2018? What was the world record after that? And just see those names, and kind of see a visual of like what's going on. Because a lot of people, they see sub 37 like, what the fuck? Like, I don't even know. Like, is that good? Like, I mean, I know because I have watched a lot of streamers.
You got to put it into perspective, and you know, not to keep glazing settled, but that's one of the things he's really good at. Totally. He puts he does higher tier like challenging content like that. So Solo Mission, he comes to mind. Bodhi comes to mind too sometimes. You know, a lot of those guys, what they're good at is they're really good at the game, and they come up with some astronomical challenge, and then but they also like show what, like how they got there, what's the history behind it, like the what was the speedrun, one of the speedruns Settle did, like I maybe one was like getting a fire cave from a level 3, something like that. Like you show like I think one of the things he did great in that video was like he's showing the history behind it, you know?
Yep.
He's showing like he did the research on like how was it before, how is it now, and how can we take it further? You know, that's the essence right there.
Yeah. Okay. What are your thoughts on kind of going back into OSRs a little bit? We talked about the Inferno, but I wonder, you know, because things are getting easier, how do you feel about, you know, this is some of the discussion that goes along in the high level community of like changing CA times and stuff, especially like something like CMs, where I think the solo time is like 38:30 or something to get GM time, and it's like people are beating that by like 12 minutes and stuff, and it's just like, do you think it's necessary to like go back retroactively and change these things, or do you think in your books it's just fine to keep it? And obviously Grandmaster will in some ways get easier, but in some ways get harder, because it means you have to do so many more things. Like when I got Zakhelm, there was only 400 tasks, so it was like, okay, like this is way easier in some ways. But I
don't think we need to be changing times. I feel like you start doing that, then it just becomes a chore to like, oh, now I gotta go back. Well, actually, maybe I should clarify. Like, do you mean like, will people that already have the old time before the update or whatever, do they get to keep their
they'd have
time?
Because I'm trying to think if there's any,
or do they have to go back is the question.
I'm sure everything that's like time based is obviously being saved. Like clearly it'll just be able to retroactively say you've gotten it.
Because they just did that with the gauntlet, right? Correct?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
But I want wait. So we did that with the gauntlet. I'm actually not sure. I mean, I could just log into my main account. Does that mean you haven't?
Let me open this. Hold up. I have them all done. I'm pretty sure. I have all of them done still. And I haven't done the new times. So I mean, I guess that's a way of doing it. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that, but like, I think if you have to, like, if everyone has to go back, all right, we got to go get the new times again. You know, that would be a slog. Like, no one wants to do that.
Yeah, I'm sort of in the camp of like, just keep things the way they are. I don't even think Zakhelm ultimately needs to be like the most insane, out of control thing of all time. They had, CA's actually sort of originated from the idea of the Oblivion Diary. Did you ever hear about that? Yeah, so that was like the super cracked thing that was constantly being updated, and like the Oblivion Diary was like super difficult. There was only, like, I think at the time when like CAs came out, there was only like 5 people that had done it, and it was just like some ridiculous accomplishments. You had to be very good at PvM, and I'm just thinking to myself, all right, we don't need to, you can have your own like fun, crazy, psychopathic challenges that you want to go for. Do it on your own. But I feel like Zakhelm doesn't need to be out of control. It can just be,
even without the times. I think it's like still a pretty big investment to get it all done.
Definitely, yeah.
Like, it's not like even if all the times got power crept, like you still have a bunch of them that you have to like play good, play well.
Yep.
Like it's not like it's free if all the times are free suddenly. Like if we just had super power gear.
Yeah. All right.
Although I did cheat on one of them recently in the TOA video.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you saw that.
Which one was that? Was that the
there
one?
There is the level 75 gear that you have to use. So you can only use
with the ornament
like
kits
below 75. They forgot to like update that for like so many items. Like DT2 rings are allowed in there. Like it's crazy. You could bring a scythe in there and not fail it. If you have an ornament kit. So like, I mean, that's Jagex's fault. That's not my fault that that's in the game. Okay.
Some of the time I feel like it's intentional. Like, maybe not purely, it obviously would be a little bit of work to just code it in. Like, okay, this is one of the exceptions, this is another one. But at some of the time, my conspiracy theory is that they actually like it when there is just some clear bugs of like, you can just use all this stuff, because I think psychologically it makes players feel like they're somehow getting an advantage. And I feel like that's sort of satisfying in some ways. You know, it's the same. It's sort of similar to how I see like solo Olm. Like solo Olm was not like really designed that way, and there's no way it was really intentional, I don't think. But like just being able to take 0 damage just running back and forth, like that feels good psychologically. It's almost like you found the secret to cracking the boss. And I feel like finding those little secrets, you know, in the cracks, like, oh, I could just use a scythe, like hopefully nobody figures it out. Like I feel like that kind of adds a little bit of,
I think it's
extra
fun. And also I think you know, there's no game breaking, like I'm looking at the wiki right now. It has the list of things. There's no game breaking things here that would like make the run just completely free. Like you have like all of it you need, like Theater of Blood kits for, or you need like the Ancient Scepter with a quartz attached, or you need a Desert Treasure 2 ring, which that, you know, you could buy that.
Yeah.
Or the Max Cape Dizana's quiver. So like, yeah, like you have to, it's not like it's like you could just go out and like, oh yeah, I can just go cheat. Like it would be someone that's like played the game a bunch, you know?
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be that big of a advantage at the end of the day.
And it's one task. It's like, who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's like a few other tasks, some
yeah.
other places that do the same thing, but yeah, ultimately it's like, who cares?
I think you're right though. It does feel fun to like be like,
cheese the system a
I
little
could
bit.
just,
Yeah.
we could either sneak this in, you know, that is fun. I'll agree with you on that.
Yeah. Okay. What are your thoughts on Blood Moon Rises? I want to talk specifically about the Drakan fight, and then of course the Maggot King and the new weapons from like, so the Crimson Kiston and the Necklace of Rupture. So let's start with the Drakan fight. What were your thoughts on that? That was insane.
Drakan fight was great. I died a lot, and I was the last. I was doing it with 2 of my friends. One of them was still asleep, so he wasn't there. 2 of my other friends, they're better players than me. They're always ahead of me and stuff. But we kind of like did the puzzles, and it was actually kind of fun doing the quest, because for this quest specifically, as most people know, you go into the haunted house and you're like searching for clues, and like we had to do this guide list with no quest help or anything. And so me and my friends were like a Scooby-Doo gang in a VC. We're like, all right, let's split up. You go over there. What do you think? What did you find over there? Okay, let's go back over here. Like it was really great to do that.
That's
with a bunch of
cool
people.
way to do that. Yeah, that's awesome.
So first of all, there's that part, and then once we got to the boss fight, my friends like were had basically oh yeah, I forgot about this. The night before Blood Moon Rises, I can't remember why, but I think I was getting the TOA video out. I stayed up pretty late, make sure everything went out, and then I remember I tried to go to sleep and I couldn't sleep, and I woke up at like probably. I was like, it's one of those days, one of those nights where you're like, screw it, I'm just gonna get up. Like I can't fall asleep.
Yeah.
And I was like, I looked at the clock because I'm West Coast. It was like 2:45, and the update is supposed to drop at 3:00 a.m. my time. And I was like, well, screw. I can't go to sleep now. Like my friends are on. I gotta go play the new quest. Like I can't sleep anyway. So I was dead tired by the time we got to the fight. Somehow I made it through the final fight. It took me a ton of tries. I was the slowest one in the group. I think that was probably the sleep that was doing me there. But I think the waves felt a little clunky though, I will say. I don't know if
the wave mechanic. Oh, I hated that.
Yeah.
That
felt
awful.
like not good.
It was not good. I really
it felt like I was
don't
just
do that
taking
again.
damage and it wasn't my fault type of deal.
Yeah. It was
I
Like
cope.
what? No. That's not cope at all. The whole thing felt very jank. Like it felt out of place completely. It didn't feel RuneScape. I mean, at least the like dashing backward kind of felt like it had, you know, a tick rhythm to it. The waves were just like, here you go, just jump whatever you want. And your dude is launching.
And
like,
you always
know,
get shafted with the perpendicular tic-tac-toe shaped lines. You're like, well, I can't. What's the point? That's how I felt during that. But
it was just like clearly there's a way to solve it, but you're gonna see this mechanic one time ever in the entire game, and hopefully they never do it again. And it's like it felt.
Yeah, but I mean the rest of the fight was great. That was really fun. Honestly, I would love to see more of that in the game. I don't know if repeatable. I don't know if I want my repeatables like that. I mean, it would maybe yeah. I'd be fine with some repeatable bosses that have that sort of thing with like dodging and parrying and stuff. Just don't do it too grind heavy, like 1 in 5,000 pet chance, or people are just gonna be mad. Like we don't want to, like, let's not burn people out and ruin their lives. Okay, like
it was just like so. There was so much going on at once. I feel like when I did that first little brief fight in the forest, and it was giving you the little like diamond sparkles of like, okay, click here and here, you know, I was like, what is going on? Like, I don't get this at all. And the timing felt weird because you have to like wait an additional tick for when you think. And then for the final thing, I mean, I just rolled up with like food. Like I just bought food because I thought all the brews were like legitimate brews, not just the ones that just drop you down by 1 stat. Like those brews were OP. Yeah. Those were so nice. So the second time through, I had a bunch of brews left over because I'm like, oh, okay. Like I didn't know I could just drink these and it's just free tickless food or tick lossless food. So yeah, that was a really fun fight though. And I think what's cool about, you know, I always talk about this on my cast, but like I love that they're able to do so much like exploration and just innovative stuff with PVM, because we don't really see that with other aspects of the game. I feel like they're very, very careful about changing metas or changing things that are like going against the grain of like skilling, for example. But with PVM, they're really able to just pull these levers that we've never seen before, and we just accept it. And I'm glad that they also gave you basically unlimited supplies and really good supplies, because one of the difficult parts about balancing, I think, in their eyes as like developers coming out with a new quest, for example, is you have to kind of balance it for like an early Iron Man's experience a lot of the time. Like there's a lot of Iron Man that are like, you know, kind of entering late game potentially, or like, you know, they're kind of toward the end of mid game and they still don't have brews. So like you roll up to a fight and you're like, you don't have piety yet because you haven't gotten your 70 prayer or whatnot. And so like the developers have to balance something around, okay, everything is super, super simple if you just have a bunch of brews in your inventory and you just want to brute force a fight. But we also have to balance it around people that don't have brews. So like, just imagine they did that Drakan fight and you had to go get your own supplies for it. Like that would have not flown. It would not have flown, because you would have had like literally over half the community just not being able to complete it because like they just can't.
Honestly, I think I'm kind of in that camp because I'm old school. Like I remember some of my like best memories was like doing like some of those really hard quests. Like not you wouldn't consider them hard now, but like back in the day where you had to prepare, you had to invest, you had to have a stake in this quest to finish it. No pun intended. And I think I'm a little in that camp, but I think the game has changed to what you're saying, where you do have to account for Iron Man these days. As much as I meme on it, like you do have to account for those players, and we're all older. Like no one wants to be going back 100 times. Like you're already going to be dying a bunch, and then now you have to double teleport to get your supplies back, and you have to pick up your gravestone and then go back, get your supplies again, and then go back to the quest point that's weird in a weird location. It makes sense, you know, what they're doing. So, and I'm fine with it totally. But I do miss that. I do hope they have some quests, like especially with like Raids 4 or whatever. I do hope they have some stake, like investment into the quest a little bit with your own supplies or however you do it. Like I liked that about DT2.
Yes.
Like that's what I like Desert Treasure 2 because of that. Because you really had to it felt like you were like actually going into this thing and you're like, oh man, I hope I don't die. Like I need to lock in and get this done. Yeah. Type of deal. You know?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think there's like two different things that are popping into my head. So like, I like the convenience of, so it's like going back to the Draken's fight, like the convenience of just respawning right there next to a chest. That was already like, that's already enough, it feels like. And then you could just go to your bank chest and resupply with your own supplies. Like that would have felt fine. The only issue is the fight is so drawn out
This fight specifically.
Yeah. Like it was just brutal. So like, I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
if you had to just use normal supplies, like even the normal brews you'd be bringing, that would have made the fight way more difficult. You'd be constantly having to restore again. And
Yeah.
so they had like these specialized supplies that made it. Now, they could have still made it so you have to have your own supplies. You just have infinite retries of it, but they would have had to drastically shorten the fight and make it so maybe it's a little bit more punishing.
Yeah.
And then that would have had to be in the formula. But the way they did it, there's just no way that it would have been balanced around your own supplies, especially, again, if you're the guy that's not rolling up with full Blorva, literally best in slot stuff with 99s and everything like unlocked. Like if you're rolling up with a fucking fighter torso and some rune plate legs and shit, and you're going in there like good luck, man. It's difficult. So
yeah, and I think it's totally like for this fight, I think what they're aiming for, this isn't supposed to be like a Blood Torva level like fight. I think they want this accessible to the majority of the player base, and also I think like. They want the fight to feel epic, so they want it to be a little bit longer so you can really prove that you defeated him and he's a tough opponent. So, logically, I think it makes sense, like, why they chose that.
Yeah. Okay, so this is going to kind of funnel me into another line of discussion. So when it comes to convenience, I want to hear your thoughts on this. And what I mean by convenience is, just in I think it was just last update. Is that the one where they made it so gravestone? It's like when you recover your stuff, everything goes right back to where it was originally when you died.
Yes.
See, that's gorgeous. That's like such a positive change. I think there's like a bug with the quiver. I think that's like the only real issue with it at the moment.
Oh, what was the bug? I didn't hear about the bug.
I think the bug is just like your ammo doesn't properly go into the quiver, so it kind of fucks up your
right.
I haven't experienced it firsthand, but people have told me that the quiver is the thing that's kind of glitching out when you go to your gravestone. I want to hear your thoughts on the wilderness, because you're a main, so you have a different probably experience with the wilderness. Have you done wilderness boss videos yet?
Yeah, so I've done Spindle.
Okay.
And like obviously, like I've messed around with the multi bosses as well. But as far as like actual like camping there, I did do Venenatis and Spindle.
Okay. What are your thoughts on just wilderness and just the death mechanics and everything like that? Like it's sort of a very broad overview, but thoughts on the wilderness, and then I'll kind of delve in a little more specifically.
The wilderness. I've seen it come. I've seen it go. I've been playing this game for like over 20 years, so like, personally, I don't know what they can do to make people want to go there. Is my take. I'm not opposed to having it in the game. I'm also not like thrilled about it if I have to like go camp a boss out there, because I'm like, because a lot of time, but that's just me being lazy and like I want to watch my show and not pay attention and whatever. I want to turn off my brain while I just do my boss, do my Vorkath kills, whatever. I don't know. Wilderness. I don't, like I said, I don't know if there's anything they can do that's gonna like quote unquote revitalize it after all of the things they've tried. I don't know. Yeah. I don't think the problem is that people don't. I think they're like solving for the wrong problem, I guess. Yeah. Like they're trying to make it more active, but like no one wants to go there in the first place. So even if you do put rewards there, I think, I don't know. I mean, I think rewards is fine, but I don't like when it's like really, I don't know. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about the wilderness where like on one hand I'm fine with it. Like I do my clues out there and I'm totally fine. It's just awkward.
Okay.
Especially it's been on the last note on that too is like I personally think the Rev Caves should have never been added. I was a very hard no person for Rev Caves. when it was initially pulled way back when.
Yeah. What, you didn't like the 100 noted dragon plate skirts on launch? Just the weirdest.
I thought it was a little silly. Well, the problem was when they were polling that, dude, it was like height of, wasn't it like 2020 or something like that? Like
Revs?
Was that 2019 or
2017 it came out, and then 2018 is when I believe the Rev weapons came out in the summer of 2018.
Yeah, I don't know. That was the height of like when gold farming and like the gangs were already there, and so that when they were pulling that to make it better, I'm like, guys, what are you doing? You don't know what's gonna happen. I've seen this happen before.
Yeah. It's kind of a mess. I mean, there are so many things to talk about, like with the just bad updates they've added to the wilderness. I want to just offer, and this is something I've talked about, but I want to get just a few more content creators specifically to kind of weigh in on how they feel about this. So a lot of people, and I even just watched one of the latest Behe casts where they had Torvesta on, and they were just talking about like what can be done with the wilderness, and it almost feels like a universal like nothing can be done about it. It's just fucking ruined. Like you just have to accept that it's trash or something, or just like never participate, or just accept that this is the way it is. And people are always like, there's no solution to it. They've tried a million things. But I feel like, and I've talked about this for years, I feel like I have a very clean solution to the wilderness. And I just want to pitch you it briefly, and then I want to hear your thoughts on it. So I think the biggest reason the wilderness fails is because of that convenience thing, like just the time wasting. You go out there, it's completely asymmetrical odds against you. Like if you fucking go to like any sort of multi thing, if you're ever in multi, like, and you're a single player out there, like you're just gonna get fucked up by some team, and there's no counterplay, there's no anything. And the worst part about it is when you die, everything's stripped off of you. You have to go now find what you were fucking geared in and all this stuff. You would run back to your bank and like, okay, do you have some Trouvé parchments?
I just call it Trover. I'm American.
Trover, just American, yeah. You got to go like find out, okay, is my cape broken? I know they've done a lot of things, but like the whole wilderness just feels like there's so many random arbitrary rules out there, and like nobody knows what the hell's going on right now anyway. And then there's like random teleport delays and shit, and you can't eat an angler in the wilderness, and all your spells go to normal size again. So if we're using resizable spells, that's not fair because there's a skill expression with the tiny little microscopic icons to cast your ice barrage. Anyway, there's a bunch of different stuff, but the main thing is just that convenience factor. So the solution, in my view, and this also helps incentivize players to also fight back, but I want to sort of just pitch this kind of vanilla, which is this idea called the PvP Coffer. What it is just imagine there's like a Coffer in Ferox Enclave, and this Coffer can only have raw GP deposited into and withdrawn from. Iron Man cannot withdraw from it. It could only be deposited into, but we'll cover that later. But this is what would happen when you go down into like your gear tab on your character, and you check the view items kept on death tab, and you see like what you're risking that value down beneath. Basically what would happen is when you enter the wilderness now, as long as you funded that Coffer in Ferox Enclave sufficiently to be able to afford whatever you're risking out in the wilderness, if you were to be now killed by a PKer, money from your Coffer is now going to be inserted into the loot key for that PKer. So right now, as it stands, if a PKer kills you, they get a loot key, and it's all your items and shit, besides 3 or 4, depending on if you protect
is it based off your risk? Like how much is they PK?
Yeah, so these new things would be, it's like if you run out into the wilderness and you're still you can still protect your items. So whatever you're protecting, let's just say you were risking a mil. Now, instead of all of the shit that you were carrying being lost to the PK, and you respawn with 3 items or 4 items, and you have to run back and figure out what the hell you were equipping, now you've just lost the GP amount from your Coffer, and you respawn with everything that you had on you when you died, including your loot, including the items on your back. You literally respawn at your respawn location, and you've just lost the equivalent GP from your Coffer, and that goes to the key that now the PKer has. So now when the PKer wants to cache it, he goes to the Ferox Enclave or the Grand Exchange or wherever those little chests are. I don't know how familiar you are already with like normal mechanics, but it's changed over the years. But they have these chests now where you just loot your loot keys, basically. So people can hold up to 5 loot keys, and they go and cache them. And you'll see like the little menu of what you actually PK'd, and it'll show all the items that you got, and then you just like deposit it into bank and it goes in there. So what this will do, and I've brought up this idea for years now, and I've gotten feedback and stuff, and a lot of people like seeing what items they PK'd. So this system, if you just lost gold and you didn't lose any items, it would show at least the PKer when they open their chest. These are the items that you would have PK'd, and it just shows the amount of items you got. But then there's just a cash out button, and that cash out button basically is just the GP equivalent of it that's sent to their bank or sent to their coffer. So you have to obviously opt into this coffer system. So if somebody just didn't want to sufficiently, fund their coffer properly, let's just say you didn't even touch the coffer, you had no money in there, and then you died, it would just be a normal loot key. You would lose the items on your back and everything, and you have to go scour.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, how does it work for people that don't put any money in the coffer? Can you just not go in the wilderness? Or
it would just be normal death mechanics as they are now. But you'd be highly, highly incentivized to fund this coffer because the convenience would just be out of control. What it's doing is it's just making it so, like, if you're at Spindle and all of a sudden this PKer comes and just Void Wakers you out, you don't just fucking lose everything. No, you respawn with literally everything that you had, including the loot. Now, keep in mind that your death, like however much you lose, would also be tracking what's in your looting bag as well. So you even keep all the items that you got out in the wilderness, but the amount of risk now obviously increased because whatever you're carrying obviously is constantly increasing if you're looting stuff. So the PKer gets that money, they can go cash it out. And that's the general sort of system. There's a lot more like intricacies with this. One of them is that Iron Man can also participate in this. So Iron Man can fund their coffer. They can even PK a player and that funds their coffer. So now there's actual incentive for Iron Man to fight back because their coffers can be funded. This is where at the beginning of the conversation I was saying Iron Man cannot withdraw from their coffer. That holds true. They can never withdraw and actually gain advantage on their Iron Man. The only incentive to killing another player as an Iron Man is to fund their own coffer so that it will now fund their future deaths. So there's a little bit more going on, but I want to hear like your overall thoughts on this.
So I think the items dropping to the floor, one of my fondest memories, even though I'm not typically known as a PKer, but like I played the game a long time. When I first started PK, it was probably like when Karasi came out. That's what got me into PKing, actually. I mean, like maybe a little bit before. I messed around on those like PvP worlds with the broken like statuettes and stuff. And then like Karasi came out, and like the first time you get a smite and you see the dragon claws or their +1 on the floor, and you're like, oh my God, I can just pick this up and it's mine. Like that feeling, that's a great feeling. I don't know.
Well, that's already not in the game anymore. Like almost every player has opted into the loot key system already.
The loot keys, right? Yeah.
So you don't even see shit.
Yeah, I mean, when I think of PKing, that's like where my mind goes, because I'm like, I don't really PK these days anymore much. But so that, I think that's a valid feeling for sure. But yeah, like you said, like we have the loot keys system and everything, so it wouldn't really be that much different. It seems like it would just be like Gravestones 2.0, Death Coffer kind of vibe. I mean, I'm not like opposed. I wouldn't be like opposed to something like that. For me personally, it doesn't really make me want to go in the wilderness any more than I already don't, though. So I guess that's how I see things.
I think part of the reason it incentivizes players to go out in there is because, like, again, let's just say you do die. Let's just say you're grinding the next wilderness boss out there. You can literally just go with whatever you want. There's no more like, do I have my cape trovered? Will I lose this at 20 wilderness plus? Will I do all of those?
Yeah, that stuff's confusing.
All of those headaches instantly go away, because the only thing you'll ever lose at any point in the wilderness ever, as long as your coffer's funded, is just the amount of value that you've brought out there. So it's like the most convenient, everything, all of that nonsense right now is immediately eliminated. It's just like there's no more headache. It's just check the value of what you're risking. There it is.
It wouldn't. I don't know if it would make me like the wilderness anymore. I think that's where I'm at with it.
Even if, okay, let me just paint a scenario for you.
Because like I can already gear quickly. Like, you know, I got I use the inventory setups plugin pretty often now. One time my friend showed it to me and it changed my life. You know, anything I'm doing, I make an inventory setup, and then I just pull that up, gear back, and it's for like PVM and stuff like that. So, but it definitely I think I don't think there's anything wrong with the idea. I just don't know if it would make me personally want to go out and do wilderness content more, if that makes sense.
Is there anything that would make you personally want to go out in the wilderness more, like? Or is it just a lost cause? Like literally nothing could ever make you want to go out there, because it's just the fact that anybody can kill you at any time is just already like the nail in the coffin. Like it's just over. Like I don't want to do
I have a hot take. Actually, I don't know if it's a hot take. I don't know if it's a hot take. I just thought of it. Yeah. Has anyone ever suggested like just capping the kind of gear you can use in the wilderness? Because I feel like the biggest problem is the power creep, and like for the experienced PKers, you can just bring like the craziest shit: Blood Fury, Noxious Halberd, Masori armor, Ellie. Like you could, like you see Odablock going out with a full max set. You're like, I can't do anything against that. VLS. What am I gonna do? Like even if it's a one-on-one fight, what am I gonna do? Like I'm gonna get absolutely smoked unless I bring like the same level gear, and there's no shot any casual is gonna bring that. I think, well, this is just an idea. This isn't like a fleshed out idea, but what if you like cap the gear that you're allowed to bring in the wilderness to like level 75, like Bandos tier, or like level 70 or something like that? I don't know where the cutoff would be, obviously, but like that basically caps what you can bring. So there's not any like double, like there's not any crazy, like really crazy stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. So what you're alluding to is just basically like the sheer asymmetry of like a guy that's perfectly geared with PK gear that's really good at PKing, and then you and your measly, you know, Vigora's chain mace and no counterplay items whatsoever, just trying to run away and escape, and you keep getting frozen over and over. It's just not a pleasant experience.
And like this isn't to make the like the casuals or like the clue hunters or the boss hunters, this isn't to make them have a easier time. It's like if everyone was capped at the same tier, like you can't bring any more powerful gear past like level 75, for example. I don't know the cutoff, but then like there's a maximum risk you could have that's still like not insane. You know what I mean? Like it's not like total, it's not going to completely like give you like, you know what I mean? I'm trying to. I don't know how it works. It's just kind of.
I know what you mean. I just don't think there's any way around that in particular. The way the wilderness stands right now, there can't be too drastic of changes, and I think the PvP coffer system at least addresses the convenience factor. It addresses it so
it's like the gravestone, like how it's convenient. Thing. Yeah.
Like imagine the convenience of all that, but wilderness based, where it's like, okay, like these deaths don't hit quite as nauseatingly. Like it's not just like I died to Scorpion and I don't know what the fuck I lost. And again, for half the player base that plays Iron Man accounts, like it's just a terrible experience. Even losing a set of monk's robes, you now have to go back to Edgeville Monastery and go pick them up manually, hop some worlds and go grab them. So for Iron Man,
for me, it's different because like I play pretty much exclusively on a main. So like, oh, I lost something. Okay, I'll just go buy it. Like it's not really. Yeah. I'm kind of used to it. You know, I'm really like okay, this is the wilderness. I'm gonna have to buy my shit back if I do it. But yeah. For Iron Man, like it's different now that the 50 half the player base is Iron Man. Yeah. And like a lot of stuff just isn't fun, or like it's not stuff you want to like spend. You have to spend an hour to go get something back type of deal. You know, if it was your last one.
If you were an Iron Man that wanted to fund your coffer now, like there's actually a lot of room now to anti-PK, and a lot of PKers hate that there's not much activity in the wilderness and the meta is just to log out or instantly teleport. And it's like, this is not great gameplay. Like, the wilderness is in such a shitty spot when it comes to like that whole predator versus prey model. But if there was
If
a
you
way,
want my personal like opinion about the wilderness, now that I've been thinking about it more, talking to you, because I typically I've never thought I don't really delve on it like this. I think my favorite time for when PKing, like, I think the healthiest time PKing was a thing was when there wasn't crazy powerful gear like today. I think my personal hot take is like content creators kind of ruined, they kind of pushed for PvP updates way too much, and now it's fucked. That's my opinion. I think PKing as a whole was healthier and more fun when we were in like Barrows to God Wars level era. Or like, yes, you could AGS a 78 and get that KO. Like Godsword PKing and like Barrows was like perfect in my opinion. But maybe that's nostalgia. I don't know.
No, you are right. Like, there is a complete imbalance. Seriously, like, I am playing this game daily, and I went out into the wilderness to the Rev Caves on my guy. I completed the medium diaries. I couldn't fucking teleport. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, oh yeah, you have to complete the hard diaries to teleport. Like, it doesn't say anywhere. I play this game fucking daily. Imagine a person that doesn't play this game every single day. Like, they would have zero clue what is happening. And I
think that's so silly that they had to add in arbitrary like rules to combat bots or PKers, or to make PKers like, I feel like it's so silly. It should never been that. Wilderness should have been frozen in time in, let's say old school time, not the pre-era. Let's do like freeze it in time around like 2015. Same gear. You can't use any new gear. Like, Jagex could maybe add gear if they want that fits under like a threshold, I think. Like, I think your idea is like not bad, but I think it's going to take more than that to get people like excited about trying to go out there and like having to study like a research paper to like to know what are all the rules. How do I not lose my item here? Can I go past 20 wilderness? Can I teleport if I have the diary done? Did I unlock this shortcut? You know?
Yeah, and like you said, though, I mean, the PvP coffer instantly solves all the gear issues. It's just none of the Trover parchments exist anymore. None of the, I mean, maybe they could still exist for people that haven't opted in, but if you're just opted in, it's all of it's just removed. Like, that whole headache of all the gear and what you're going to lose and the Trover parchments and the untradables and the everything else is just completely eliminated, and it's just a cost. It's just, this is the value you're risking when you leave the wilderness, and that's just it. And you know very clearly, you could even have a new plugin that just in the corner of your screen shows, here's what you're risking, here's the value of what you're risking, and it'll go up or down depending on if you drop things in the wilderness or you get new loot or whatever. I just feel like that's so much nicer for 30-year-old men playing this game now in 2026.
I feel like it's not a bad idea. It feels like Bounty Hunter back in the day, low key. Like, you know what I mean? Didn't they have some sort of system like that? It's been a while since
I never played it back then, so.
Right now, I'm just gonna bring the minimum risk, cause like I just know if I run into anyone that's dangerous, I'll probably die. You know. Yeah. I was opening my Laren's keys for a video, and I brought nothing because I was if someone sees me, I'm just gonna do like 100 key trips. You know, if someone sees me, I'm dead. Like, you know, that's that. That's how I feel when I go to the wilderness. If it was like, if I knew that there was a chance where I could fight back, or I would have some level of escape power if I played well, then I would bring more stuff. Probably I'll bring some brews. I would bring some, like, maybe some carols, like if I really wanted to like ensure that I don't die. I think I would like care about it more if the power levels weren't crazy with like surge pots and light bear and like all these crazy stuff. Fang. But the convenience, I think, is like another thing that could help too. Like, I think both, like, I think there are definitely ways. I guess my first comment was like, I don't think it can be saved. But I don't know. I think the more we talk about it, I think there's still room for things to try, but like getting everyone behind that is a whole another story too.
Yeah.
So
it's brutal. Just the fact that right now, and again, even if you're not an Iron Man and you hate Iron Man or whatever, it's like there is this simple fact that like a huge portion of the player base are Iron Men. And when you are dealing with, you know, a third of the player base or half the player base or however many players are Iron Men out in the wilderness, and there is zero incentive for them to fight back, that is a fucking problem. Like, why do we have a game where half the players, I'm just saying half because it's just easier to say than like a third or whatever. I don't actually know the percentage, but where half the players have zero incentive to fight back, and it's a fucking PvP zone, and it's like there's zero reward for it. Yeah, it's an ongoing discussion, but I think there are healthy ways to improve the wilderness.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, before we move on, I'm going to go take a little pee, and I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Okay, I'll do the same. Yeah, be right back.
One of the things we haven't touched on yet in this conversation is raids for... Actually, you know what? I wanted to just briefly touch on Mega King, and then we'll touch on raids 4, because I did just kind of skip over. So... yeah, what are your thoughts on Mega King? It was originally pitched as like in between Fasani's and Inferno. I don't know where they came up with that, but that was definitely not accurate in my view. But I'll hear it from you. What was your thoughts on it?
My personal thoughts on Mega King. So funny you mentioned this. That's my next video. I'm actually working on it this week. It's probably my favorite boss to come out in the last 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, this, I don't know if that's a hot take or not.
That is a hot take. Your favorite in 5 years.
Oh, okay, maybe. Okay, I don't know about favorite, like overall, like everything they've released, but favorite like boss that I've done in a while.
Okay.
Like,
and why is that?
as far as grinding it, well, you saw the Darok method, right?
Yeah.
That thing is fun.
Yeah.
Darocking Maggot King is probably one of the most fun things you can do in the game, as far as like PVM. I never like, obviously, like you like, for people that are gonna see the video, like you'll see how much I die in it, but I die a lot. I spend a lot of money dying, but the wins feel so good. The big numbers, slapping 140s, boom, boom, boom. And like you're like tanking the leech damage and then just moving to the side and then doing the whole like step under thing. Like that's so fun to me. And like seeing how many kills you can get a trip like that, like low risking. I loved Maggot King personally. And also I may be biased because of like the loot I received, which I won't say what I've gotten from it, but it was fun. I liked it.
Okay.
I don't know if it was accurate to their pitch in the blog. Yeah, I could see why people are saying that, but I think I'm at the stage where anything they say in the blog, I'm not taking it for face value. Like, like I'm kind of used to like them. I guess I don't think they're doing it on purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think they're like trying to mislead us into like the difficulty. I think they're just trying, like, someone in the office is like, yeah, it seems like it's about this, between this and this, and like, okay, yeah, let's roll with that, like let's write it like that. Yeah.
No, I think Maggot King was great, and I love that the drop rates feel very fair. I'm glad they're not doing the old-fashioned like 1 in 1,000 for a ring at Vardorvis, for example. Like, I don't know, I feel like they were kind of going a little bit out of control for a little bit in RuneScape with drop rates.
Nightmare ever since the Nightmare, bro.
Most insane one. Yeah. I mean,
they're still trying to fix that thing.
even Chambers was terrible. I mean, we all just accepted it because it was the one raid at the time, so it was like, whatever they want, we'll still play it. But yeah, no, I think they've been doing really good lately with drop rates, making it reasonable and valuing the player's time. So
I value like the drop rates I take into consideration. The main thing I do consider, though, when it comes to like, did I enjoy the boss or not? Or when it comes to like, is this a good boss, is if I enjoyed sitting there, like for grinding it how I do, did I enjoy it? And Maggot King is one of those where my least favorite content in the game is gotta be stuff that needs your attention but isn't challenging, like Griffin, or
Hmm.
like what's another thing I was doing recently for this bingo, like demonic gorillas. Like that's like the that I mean, they actually the changes do feel nice, actually, but yeah, like if it need like Vorkath, for example, too, that's a little brain off, but then you have like that one hit mechanic that gets you sometimes. You're like listening to an audiobook or like chatting with friends, and then you look away for 1 second. That's the
Yeah.
worst. Like I hate bosses that are like they need you to be bored
Yep.
staring at the
Totally with
screen.
you.
When with Maggot King it was different. It felt good. It felt like yes, it's a, every boss has like its own strategy and repetition to kill the boss, but it actually felt like I was engaged the whole time. And I went to actually I don't know, I mean, people could look me up, but I killed a lot of it. And I didn't feel bored. I didn't even want to leave. I had to physically remove myself because I wasn't planning to stay there for like months. I want to keep making videos and I have like other goals, I want to accomplish on the account too these days. So I didn't want to leave. I was
Yeah.
like sad that I had to leave. So that's how I knew it was a good boss, for me personally.
I assume no spoilers because the video's coming out soon.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
I'll
I
have to
mean, I
watch
could
it.
tell you off record, but
Nah,
like,
nah, nah. That's fine. I'll watch it. I want to watch it.
okay.
We'll keep it a
Yeah, but
surprise.
yeah, I had a good time. I had a good time with it.
Okay.
I liked it.
Okay. All right. I want to touch on raids for rewards. Now we were talking before the cast. You're obviously not the blog guy these days. You just kind of like play the game, but raids for is one of the exceptions. You have been definitely keeping your eye out for the rewards and stuff. We don't really know much about the actual gameplay. We've seen a couple different concept arts for 3 of the boss rooms, but rewards in general, we have the Tazarket Breaker, we got those dual crossbows, we got the Ron Dash shield, we have the new little mage spec weapon, which is kind of like an Eye of Ayak with a cool new little like fast attacking little special attack, which is interesting. And then we have Zeal. So what are your thoughts on all of these newly proposed rewards? This is like the second iteration of them. Do you have like a favorite that comes to mind? And do you have anything that you're like, this could be scrapped, or just overall thoughts on the rewards?
The first blog was yikes. I'm so glad they scrapped that armor.
Yeah.
It just seems like Easyscape RS3 stuff like
Yep.
that I've experienced before in the past. It was like PTSD when when I saw that I was like, no. Like me and my friends were like, no, not this. It's gonna like, no, we don't like that.
Yeah.
But I think their second blog was really good. All these rewards are total, like going down the list, all of these seem fine. Ron Dash, interesting, maybe a little niche, but might be used in a couple places that makes one-handed weapons better. I like that. I'm glad they added a magic spec weapon idea as well. That's like every time I go to kill stuff with magic, I'm like as a main too, because like I can buy stuff. I can get I'm looking for the best gear to make this grind as fast as possible and knock it out. And every time it's like, what do I bring as a mage spec weapon? And I was actually I was killing mithril dragons for this bingo over the past week, and I did some calculations, and the best spec weapon, if you're like gonna be maging these, is a 1-item Void Waker. It beats everything else. This is
Jesus.
so silly.
That is ridiculous. Yeah, we're in desperate need of a new mage spec weapon. The volatile as well. That needs to be changed somehow. I don't know. That's a separate discussion.
They should give that like a burn effect, or like so they could do something with that.
Yeah.
That would be fun and not overpowered too much. But
Yeah.
yeah, the volatile down bad for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It even if it was just like a PVM effect, because oh god, I hate the fact that like we have to balance cool special attacks around PvP a lot of the time. But like volatile, if it just had I don't know, if it was like a 2x2 monster or something and had like a additional effect, maybe it additional splat or something. But yeah, like right now it's like it's good enough in PvP, I think, and so they have to be very careful with the levers they pull with it. But a burn effect sounds interesting. Yeah.
Sorry, what was it? What did you say?
I was just saying. I was just gonna say the burn effect that you just suggested would be interesting.
I was just thinking orange. Like, I don't know. Like, it's and they've been adding burn effects to a bunch of stuff, but they don't have a magic one. That might be interesting. Like, that might just be like a nice plug and play there. Like, makes sense. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Or just some unique thing too they could come up with, I'm sure. I like the Gatekeeper's Cane. See, it's always interesting because I always think about things from like the lore perspective of like, okay, like this is the Raids 4 raid. Why is that? Why is it a Gatekeeper's Cane? Like maybe the aesthetics, design. I'm always like, like they wouldn't announce this unless it had something really important as far as like tying back into the raid, like why it's there. So, you know, that got my gears turning a little bit to think, why are they suggesting a Gatekeeper's Cane? Like, what could that be for, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm sure they'll tie it in. You know, Moded's the GOAT. So,
actually, yeah.
The piety upgrade, great. I like it.
Yeah, that I was so happy about that. That was something I was like, okay, we've had piety since 2013, literally since the inception of Old School. Still, and it's just from a mid-game quest, and it's like, okay, this is untapped potential. When are we gonna be adding the new prayer? So I think it's cool, and I think it's very well balanced. I'm really happy that it's 28%, just a 5% increase offensively, and defensively it stays the same, which I think my OCD was a little bit flared up by that a little bit. I wish that had gone up by 5, but ultimately the more I've sat with it, I'm like, you know what, it's actually okay because it is just an upgrade to piety rather than a standalone prayer. And making it so that the 3, you know, rigor, augury, and piety are all matching that 25% defense actually does make sense, I guess. So I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. It's modest upgrade, but still feels meaningful to like absolutely get like as a main account trying to, you know, have the most powerful account. Like, yeah, you're like, yes, I want that. Like, it doesn't seem overpowered. Just it'll raise my max hits a couple times here and there. Also, them naming it is such a dead giveaway on stuff. If you know, you know.
Oh. Zeal, like isn't Zeal what you get from Soul Wars? Or
yes, it is. And if you know the quests, I played back like during Walguthic Sleeps, Ritual of the Majorat, all the Nomad's Requiem, like all those quests. I know exactly where they're going with this, to be honest. So them naming it, like telling us the name of the piety upgrade is actually got me even more excited, to be honest.
Okay. Is there any particular reason why? I didn't my whole history is playing from 2004 to 2007 and then take an 8-year break and got back into Old School in 2015. So I missed like that whole era.
I wouldn't say there's anything like that's like, it's more just like I love the lore in this game. Like I don't like read everything and like keep record. Like, you know, there's so many, the game is so deep, but there's just some things that I think is like interesting as a video maker too. Like, because back then when Nomad's Requiem came out, you had like Turmoil and Soul Split and a Pack Yak, and like you were just like super overpowered. So I'm glad. So it's cool that they're like that we're finally getting some stuff on Gothics, I think, because we just have not really anything about Gothics in the entirety of Old School being out. Like, I can't really think, nothing comes to mind besides While Gothic Sleeps, you know, like besides and for that, Void. There's like nothing related to Gothics in Old School.
Yeah. I guess you got Void, but Pest Control is not really that interesting. Is Pest Control considered like Gothixian, or is it just the fact that Void Armor is Gothics? I don't
I
actually know the lore behind
think-
any of that.
I think the Void Knights are like somehow in like they're aligned with Gothic somehow. I'm not really familiar exactly all the details, but they're aligned with Gothic somehow. And so like you've had that, but that was in old school when it like pretty much launched, wasn't it? I can't remember if it was.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
they added it later. So like that's that's like been I'm saying like since old school came out, there
You're
hasn't
just talking about
been
new updates. Yeah.
we've done Dragon Slayer. We've done the Dragonkin quests, all kinds of different ones. We've done the Majorat work. Like we've worked on that parts
Next,
of the
which
quest
is-
lines. We've done the vampires like recently, There's nothing on like the whole Gothic line, which is a huge storyline in like pre-EOC to post-EOC, like early EOC. And I don't like exactly how they did it in RS3 necessarily, but there's a little nostalgia there as for some parts of like, oh yeah, like that character, like oh yeah, that's what he did. So I can see what they're like leaning into as far as the design choice for the raid, and I'm a big fan.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I know not every boss is going to be Gothixian theme, and some people. What are your thoughts on the Tazarkat breaker not being really Gothixian as the mega rare?
I think that goes back to the lore. Look up some videos, read the wikis. You'll see why it's that. I think it's okay. I don't think we're supposed to have anything outright from the gods like in Gilnor. That would just like we already have the god swords, and we even have the ancient god sword. We have I'm trying to think of other powerful weapons. Like we have the Tumekan Shadow, but that was like the desert. That was like a really unexplored god in the game. So I mean that was kind of cool. The Scythe of Vatur, we have that, but that's not a god, as we found out. Spoilers. He's a house vampire. And the Twisted Bow is just straight up like the Hex Hunter bow from Dungeoneering, that they added some lore to in the overworld in old school, right? So I don't know. I don't know if we need a necessarily Gothics themed thing. My understanding is like Gothics kind of like is just he like banished all the gods, right? And then he's like, man, I'm just gonna go to sleep. And so he went to sleep, and he just has all these like powerful weapons from all across the land. I think that's like a cool angle. Like you have different things like the Rondash. I think the overall goal, if we're gonna talk like lore of like why raids 4, why is it the Fractured Archive? It's because everyone after while Gothic sleeps, everyone's like wants to break into the Gothic's vault to get the powerful weapons. And so you have like, if you've seen the bosses that are coming out, right? You have like the Ezekiel guy. You have this Justiciar Knight. You have Bork and Smork, which are hilarious. I'm so glad they're bringing those guys back because
Bork and the Smorks.
they're just. I can't. Hey boys, you're with your raid buddies. Like, all right, let's take down Bork and Smorks. Like, you're talking about strategy. Like it's so funny. Yeah. I'm pretty confident with Jags. Like I think they know what they're doing. As far as story goes. So.
Also,
design choices.
We're kind of talking about the raids for rewards, but I failed to mention. I know again, like I don't know how much you were up to date with all the other changes with like Inquisitors and with the Soul Reaper axe and things. Have you messed around at all with the Soul Reaper axe and the Inquisitors changes?
I've heard whispers in the clan. I've seen people talking about it. I haven't really like looked at raw numbers or meta changes really though.
Apparently, I mean, Soul Reaper axe was always just such a funky thing to use. Like it just never felt good to use. Really, you just kept damaging yourself every time you swung. So all that being taken away, and then just like having insane accuracy and strength now is just gorgeous. And then of course, lining Inquisitors offensively up with Oathplate. Sounded nice. What are your thoughts on the whole like fortification of Inquisitors? Have you ever considered that? Or have you? What do you have?
Yeah,
any thoughts on
I
why
was a
it's
big
paper
fan
thin?
of that idea, honestly, since the get go. Like me and my friends were talking about this idea of Justiciar Inquisitor back like pretty much like the first year Nightmare came out. Like when that came out, we're like,
Yeah.
well, why can't we just upgrade Inquisitor? Like we were talking about it way back then. So like I'm still a fan of having something there. I don't like that they. I have some qualms with Oathplay. I think a lot of veterans do.
Is it just
But,
too good? Like kind of outclassing Torva? Is that like the biggest reason?
and my question was just like, why? Like when they were announcing it,
Yeah.
and I still kind of feel that way after having completely grinded Yama a bunch. Like I still feel like, why did we like we didn't have to add this in this way? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like, yeah, no, it was a tough one because obviously there's always appetite for like a new armor set. Like the community clearly wants armor sets and stuff. I'm always like, where's the room for it? Like it just feels like everything's getting a little bit squished. The fact that we have, I mean, it's shocking to me that we don't have a stab armor. I'm glad we don't in a way, just because then it's like, okay, now you have 4 different melee sets that are all like very neck and neck. You got Inquisitors, you got Oathblade, you got the stab armor, you got Torva. It's like, Jesus Christ, like, can we just? I like the olden days, like you were saying earlier. It's just Bandos. There it is. Just bring Bandos. You know, that was just it. There's something like
I wish
nice
I
and
wish
simple
they
about that.
I think instead of Oathplay, I wish they would have just made Nex easier to realistically do. I think that's the main problem is Torva was so hard to like get organize people to like get to do the content, you know?
Yeah.
No other content has that problem besides maybe hard mode Tob. But even then, you have like gamers that want to do hard mode Tob, so it's not like there's definitely a niche. There's like pretty big community of hard mode Theater of Blood people that are grinding it right now. So you just have to get in the know and find those people. But Nex is like, ain't nobody want to do that unless they're just there for money, you know, and it's not fun.
Yeah, you gotta like, if you have a really good team and you already have a Zuck helmet, so the KCing is just way easier. The whole, I don't even want to get into the conversation of God Wars fixing. Just KC is just very outdated in a lot of ways. But yeah, Nex is just kind of a headache, and then the rarity of everything is just kind of out of control. It was kind of like right at the end of that era of like just cranking up drop rates. Like I get it. If it's the new best in slot armor, you want to make things rare, but it's like, bruh, it's a lot. Like, have you greenlogged Nex?
No.
Okay.
Dude, I went there for the first video of the Circles of Hell series, and man, that was not that fun for me because like how are you gonna get 5 or like, you know, a group of guys together on a Monday morning?
Yeah.
To grind Nex out of all the other content you could be doing, chambers, raids, like Nex. Drink it. The only time I get to do, I've kind of put it like my strategy now for Nex is like finishing that off is, I think I'm just gonna hit it up every time it's on bingo, and it usually is on bingo for like my clan events and stuff. I just hit it up with the boys every time. I make sure to do a few kills and like do as much as we can, and that's my strategy until it gets to a point where it's close, and then power crept, and then I'll go back.
Ooh. Have you do you know who Lone Gym Rat is?
Yes.
Okay, so he's
not super familiar, but I've heard his name a few times.
Yeah. He's an Iron Man endgame Iron Man YouTuber. Anyway, he just came out with a video. I actually recommend it if at some point you want to do Nex and you want to do it like super reclined. Apparently there's a new mage method that requires Eyes of Ayak that basically like drain Nex's defense, and he has like a Discord I think that he opened up where it's just I think you do it in like 10 to like 12 mans or something, and it's literally full brain off, and all you do is just mage it the whole time, and it's like the fastest thing ever. It's not like, obviously you'd be better off doing duos and stuff, and trios and whatnot, but like if you just want to have a super cozy time and get a bunch of elite clues because you're killing it more often, you're getting more elite clues per hour. That's like a new way. I didn't really do much research other than just watching the video, and I was like, oh shit, like yeah, you can legitimately just mage this thing because the Eye of Ix special attack is like so powerful if you have enough people. So
Can you just does she drain your magic?
So you have to have a cough tank. So one of the guys
right.
is like the cough tanker, and then after that, I'm pretty sure it's just full running. I think the problem with what was it on day of release? It was something about everyone rocking Ancestral with a T-bow. It's just because like everyone was fucking coughing or something. Or
oh yeah,
I can't remember all those.
I remember that
a long time ago, dude. Did you believe it or not? I was in an 80 man on day of release, and I pulled Van Braces in my name. It's fucking unreal. Yeah, it was crazy. I was so hype.
Dude, I had a few friends that pulled some day one drops from there. I'm so jealous.
Yeah,
and you couldn't even find a world, and I don't even think they had the instances at that time, did they?
Oh yeah, no, it was a dreadful experience. Honestly, it reminded me of Nightmare, where like I got so hyped up for original Nightmare launch. I was so hyped. I was like, dude, this is gonna be such a sick boss. It's gonna have like God Wars dungeon style tables, so it's not like just shitting out loot like Vorkath just did. And no, it's just like straight up, you just go there. It's just like the most boring fight in existence. Like original Nightmare Loki is very boring. It's just the same.
Oh yeah, you
pattern.
I think I heard you talking about like you were one of the guys that grinded it a bunch.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Didn't you on your I can't on your Iron Man or something, or just a main account?
No, it was my Iron Man. I wanted an Inquisitor's Mace, so for 9 months straight, I soloed normal Nightmare. Bro, have you soloed normal Nightmare besides like maybe for like the CA?
Buddy, I was the Nightmare guy. I made the Nightmare video.
I thought you were the Fasanis. I thought when Fasanis dropped, that's what you. Oh my god.
My Nightmare video I came out with that in October 2020.
Oh shit. Okay.
And
I thought it was all Fasanis.
And I feel for you so badly because I was grinding it a lot with my Iron friend.
Yeah.
And he just couldn't get a drop, and we were at like 900 kills, and he just didn't have a drop in his name, and it was so bad. Like I think we got it down at the time to like 9-minute or 10-minute duos.
Yeah.
But yeah, like trying to do like it was horrible for everyone.
Dude, it was just bad.
Not fun.
It was a bad experience, and there's nothing interesting about the fight, really. It was just the same constant the fucking range sounds. Yeah, and it's just everything is just so boring. Fasani's definitely spruced it up massively, but like original Nightmare, you go there, it's just like, dude, I want to leave in 5 seconds after being here. But I was so dedicated on that mace.
I low-key had a good time because like I remember
Did you just make money? Did you just print though?
It was hard to get people to go there, and that's like when there's content like that where kind of like next before Oathplate and Yama came out, like when next prices were still really crazy, like 500 mil for a plate body. Like it's one of those things where like it's so hard to get people to go there that the prices are really high. So if you do just like head to the wall grind, you can make a ton of money. And that's what happened in my Nightmare video is I was grinding Tob a bunch, and then like Nightmare came out, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Like tried it out. I was like, it's not that good. Like no one wants to do this with me. And then I just randomly went one time and with some friends that I met randomly at Tob, like, and then I was like, and one of them pulled a harmonized orb, like 5-man or something, and it was like 1.7 bill between like 4 or 5 people, and I was like, oh my god, this is better than a T-bow. Like T-bow was only like 1.2 bill or maybe at that time or less. Like there was nothing even close to that besides like third age drops that were that expensive.
Yep.
And so I grinded it, like, so I was having a decent time. Like it was a slog, like, you know, as you're saying. But I was making a ton of money, and that was my goal, so I was okay with it. And it was COVID too, so that was help too.
Okay. And you were doing it in teams, and you weren't stressed about. There's a difference. There's also the difference between.
I know you and Lake
Ironman.
and some other guys,
bro. The amount. Okay, like I. This is just my own like me sort of. I don't know, just reminiscing and just reminding myself how fucking painful it was. But like, dude, I straight up like went there and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this all solo. Like I do not want to do a fucking duo and then see somebody else get a drop. Like I'm gonna flip out, you know, if that happens.
Yeah.
You know? Or if I see a mace and it's not mine, I'm gonna flip out, because the whole objective was to get a mace.
It was such a time-consuming grind to get those on rate.
Bro, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna use bludgeon at first, and then as soon as I got my first piece of Inquisitors, I was like, okay, I'm gonna start scything it on Crush. Bro, when you're an Iron Man and you're trying to scythe things nonstop and you're doing solos, like, dude, it took like, you know, before
that was before the scythe changes too.
Oh yeah,
that was
no,
like
it was three blood runes.
Yeah.
And you have to keep in mind, this is when it doesn't matter what the GE prices were at the time. Although blood runes were very expensive back then, but I had to compete with every fucking Iron Man, which meant like everybody wanted blood runes. So like the Mage Guild was always fucking bought out. So I would do the super psychotic method of going out into the wilderness with the guy at the Abyss, like when you go into that place, and he sells 500 blood runes at a time. But the prices were so fucking skewed that you'd buy them. The first few that you buy were 400 each. And then by the time the whole stock's out, they're 800 each. So I was, and I was buying out the whole stock. So I was paying 600 fucking GP per blood rune. And I was like, legit, every scythe swing was like at least 2K, you know, with like the vial of blood. I don't know how much the vials of blood were adding to that, but like just like raw GP on my Iron Man, it's like $1,800 a fucking swing. And when you hit 0, 0, 0, it still counted. I think that was one of the changes they made, where it's like you don't take a swing or something if you hit 0.
It's so funny because like I know there's like a handful of people I can name like right now that they did that. They tried doing that grind on their Iron Man, like Rice Cup, Lake.
Yep.
Dude, everyone's got PTSD. They're never the same after that.
Bro, it was I was genuinely like, I remember calling my dad, because again, put into perspective, I did 2,900 solos of normal Nightmare.
I know exactly just what that takes, dude. Fuck.
Pure agony. And at first, like the first few kills were like, you know, 23 minutes long or whatever, blah blah blah. By the end, and by the way, I had to grind out 50 mil XP at Wintertodd to fund my fucking Harmonized Orb when I finally got it, to get burnt pages. So I was stuck at Wintertodd off stream, then go back to use my Harmonized Orb. It was just terrible. But yeah, I remember calling my dad and just being like, I hate this. Like, he was just like, what, like, how's streaming, son? Like, what's going on? I'm like, I've been here for 9 months, please fucking like kill me, please. Like, it's just terrible. But it was affecting my mental health just like every single day grinding that shit. But
dude, I think 2020 was actually like 2020 to 2022 was like probably one of the biggest lows for old school. Dude, like thinking back to all the content since 2013, 2020 to 2022. I mean, world events stuff, like it kind of makes sense, but like it felt like there's just no content coming out, and all we had was the shitty Nightmare for like 2 years. And then, I mean, I guess we got like hard mode Theater of Blood, but there's like no bosses. Like there's like nothing coming out during those days.
Yeah, what did we have? I'm just like looking. Yeah, dude, I'm sorry, but like getting just Nightmare in general was just such, it's just so bad. It was like, what are we doing here? I remember having discussions even with like a couple J mods. I'm like, do you remember when like normal Nightmare, you could do 5 mans, but you could also do up to like 80 people if you wanted, but they skewed the rates so horribly because they didn't understand math, that like if you were in an 80 man, first off, it scales so that now the boss has like 20 fucking thousand HP per phase. So the fight's no different. It's just literally no different. It just takes the same amount of time basically than a 5 man. But if you want to get an item, the only thing that happened was you get like a secondary roll that increases depending on like the amount of players. So it's like you get one roll at the normal 5-man rate, and then you get a secondary roll that could potentially go. Dude, when you actually looked at the calcs, it was like a 1 in 96,000 drop chance for you specifically to get an orb in your name. It was like something just completely ludicrous for zero reason. And I was like yelling about it. I was like, dude, what is this? And they're like, well, we don't want too many items flooding into the game. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, there's literally no items entering this game. This boss is just rare as hell. Like, why are we so concerned about that? And if you have 80 people at a boss, that's 80 people not grinding out other items into the game. It's like, this is not making sense. Oh,
yeah,
God.
It's so funny to me. Like I remember I was doing it mostly in a group, because like I don't know if you remember Valor, like that guy, the rank 1 guy who's like grinding hard
early on.
This guy was like poop bucketing and everything, probably. I don't know. He like, I remember the best way to do any nightmare was 5-man, but the problem was I couldn't find 5-man to help me kill the boss.
Yeah.
Like I had a clan. Like I knew people. Like I couldn't convince them.
God.
It was honestly like same level of like hard mode Theater of Blood, as far as like organizing, but even probably worse, because like you had to find people that needed money badly and were willing to sink like 100 hours to see drops. Like, you know,
legit. Yep. That was it was bad.
I'm holding out for one more Phosani's change, and then maybe I'll go back. We'll see. One more. Just give us one more.
You know what my hot take is? I don't know if it's that hot, but my hot take is delete normal nightmare from the game and make it so Phosani's nightmare is just nightmare, and then put that in the center of the room. So Phosani's nightmare is the only thing you can ever do now. And then make it so you can also duo it if you want to. Same drop rates, same scaling, same everything, but you can just go in there with 2 people. So it's sort of like reminiscent to Yama a little bit if you want to. You can still solo it if you want, but you can at least bring one more person in.
Yeah, they would, if they wanted to keep the group boss thing, they have to like do a bunch of different, they'd have to make a bunch of changes to actually make people group fight that boss. Like, yeah, I agree. Like, I don't know if there's any like saving it really.
It's just terrible. It's a terrible
without
experience.
Rebalancing.
A lot of the time, the only time you ever see Iron Man doing like normal nightmares is they're just jar hunting, because for some reason the jar is more common there. Which, by the way, why is the jar 1 in 4,000? Is 1 in 4,000 from Phosani's? That's ridiculous.
Bro, why is the jar of stone 1 in 5K from gargoyles? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. No, I got fucking spooned on that. I think I got that 20 KC on like week of launch on Sae Bae account. Yeah, on my iron.
Oh my gosh, dude.
It's goated. But it wasn't. It was right before the collection log. Luckily, just over the last like year or something, they added that collection log thing retroactively for iron. So I finally got it added in there. But for years, I was like, please let me put this in my log. Holy shit, I'm not going back.
No other jar is that rare. Why is that so rare, guys? Like, what are we? Yeah. Like I was doing my Slayer bossing video recently, like a month or 2 ago, and like I was like I don't like look at rates of things really. I'm not like planning it out to that degree of like, oh, this is gonna take this many hours, so you know, like you know, so I'll camp this for this many hours. Like I know what it's like. I just like pick stuff that sounds fun to make a video about. Yeah. So I was like, okay, let's do all the Slayer task specific bosses like Hydra, Kraken, Cerberus, Shellbane Griffin, you know, those guys, the task only ones. And then I was like looking through the drops and like going through my tasks and stuff. And then I get to Gargoyles. I'm looking at the drop. I'm like, oh yeah, let me look at the drops. You know, he drops a jar. 1 in 5K.
Yeah, ridiculous.
This is like 20 kills an hour, 30 kills an hour. Like, what is this?
Yeah, for years I was thinking, dude, I have to go for another jar. Like this is a nightmare grind. Like this is terrible, because I never enjoyed Grotesque Guardians really. Like I would have a little bit of fun, but you know what? Actually, I think the biggest thing I didn't like about Grotesque Guardians was there wasn't a deposit box. If they just added a fucking deposit box in the room so I could just deposit the loot and not make... I get anxiety having so much shit on the ground. I just do. I just hate
They have such a wide drop table, unlike some other bosses, where like you want to pick it up because it's all noted. I think that's the big issue. Like gems, ores, bars, like
if it was just simply a deposit box there that just you could just dump your loot. It's not a bank, so you can't just resupply conveniently, but just something to just dump things into so I can collect my loot, have the floor clean, and just feel all right. But dude, I swear I would just get anxiety from being in that place, and it's just depressed. It's like a gloomy area too, and I'm like, ugh, I didn't like. I
think they did. I honestly think the Nox Alley was a good change, even though I wasn't a big fan of the idea of it when they announced it. But when I actually tried it out, I'm like, yeah, this never should have been like range meta like for this long. Like I really like the Nox Alley method, honestly. Yeah,
that probably makes it so much. Just the fact that you don't need to bring up like a 6-way or however many range switch thing you want to do is instantly is just so much. I haven't tried it since Nox Alley. That sounds amazing.
It's pretty much just better. Like you could maybe scrap a little tiny bit of, there's probably like some incremental, like technically range is better. Yeah. But with the Nox Alley, it's so close that it doesn't matter. You just Nox Alley, because why would you want to bring eight other switches?
Yeah.
You know?
I haven't actually, I don't know all the changes. You know, one of the things that's always irked me about bosses is when there's phases of like choreography that where the bosses become invulnerable, or there's no attack option on them. And I felt like Grotesque Guardians had a little bit too much of that, especially with like the lighting floor. Like I love what they changed. I love that they changed the Abyssal Sire so that you can actually just keep attacking it as it's transitioning, even though it's only half damage, which I still feel like is silly, but that it's still way better than how it was. But I feel like Grotesque Guardians...
You remember the old Grotesque Guardian animation cinematics? Every time you rang the bell?
Yeah, every time. Because the artist took so much time into it. You need to watch it every time until the end of existence. Yeah.
It was a cool animation, but it was
cool
like,
the first 2 times.
10 seconds
like, all right.
every time to start the boss. Like, whoa, guys, that boss, I feel like they made Guardians and Nightmare, and they're just like we don't respect your time at all. Like
straight up.
This is COVID era. You're gonna suffer. You got time. You got time. Like you know
what irked me for years until they finally changed it was the fucking Hydra shortcut to get to Hydra. Just you're looking at a black screen for 30 seconds just to balance it from the run, because they couldn't make it too fast because they wanted the run to also be like another option. Like, dude, what are you guys smoking?
I never understood that. Like, why add a shortcut if it's not a shortcut, you know? Dude, what's the point of that?
That shit was there for years. I'm like, dude, this is such a stain on, like, this simple thing is such a stain on the game. It like, who in their right mind would think this is appropriate? Like, we're gonna have a dialogue that's just showing you going in the cave. All right, you're still going through
the Hydra like loot, the death coffer chest wiping thing, or is that still a thing?
That's still a thing. If you don't bring your boots, you could lose it.
Stuff like that's hilarious to me. Like they don't do something about that. Like it's fine. Someone's gonna just off themselves in Minecraft one of these days.
No, somebody lost their stuff at I saw a Reddit post of somebody losing all their stuff at like Zora or wherever they were, that just had a different system. And I'm like, dude, can we just globalize the gravestones? Like, why are we still having these other systems where you can lose your shit if you die a second time before you get back? Like, that feels so masochistic for no reason.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you forgot to grab your stuff, or you forgot to bring your boots of brimstone, so now you just lose 3 bill. I was like, what?
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, Jagex, if you're listening, you got to fix that. We got to fix those. I feel like you're probably losing some really dedicated players that die to that, for sure.
Okay. I want to quick touch on skilling. I know you're not a skiller. Clearly, your series is all about PVM. Did you enjoy maxing your account? And then also, are you a skiller enjoyer and you just, prefer PVM, or do you just despise it all?
So I guess okay, so yeah, I did max my account last year. But that's not the first time I've maxed. I've actually maxed pre-EOC long ass time
Wow.
ago.
Okay.
Different game.
Yeah.
I got 120 Dungeoneering too.
Jesus.
But yeah, so basically I already so my history is like I maxed in the old game, and when I made my old school account, I was like, I'm not doing that again. Like there's no, like I'm not doing that. And I had like double XP weekend, like not the OP ones now, but like the first kind of like once in a blue moon ones. Like you'd have little boosts here and there, but like it was still like largely like ZMI for rune crafting and like monkey course for agility to 99. Like that was pretty much what you had to do.
Yeah.
Or lamps. And so I went into old school like never expecting to max. And then fast forward, and the notorious I go dry for the sanguine dust, right? At Theater of Blood. And I was so burnt out from that I was like, what if I just paused and went to max my account? Which is I think is funny because that's how everyone kind of maxes their account eventually. They'll like get burnt out and like, well, maybe I'll just skill for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then one thing led to another, and I was like, well, I just want, if I'm gonna skill this much, I may as well just max my account, because like I was at the point where like I was like I was like 2100 total or something. Like, I wasn't that far away. I just had like the big like agility, rune crafting, hunter, smithing, and let me see what else was that all. Agility, yeah, and yeah. So like I didn't have any like major ones. Well, unless you count, I mean, like outside, like I didn't have like a big checklist or anything. It was like just the big ones left. And I had kind of waited long enough to where like there's a lot better methods. Like we had Hallowed Sepulchre, so I was like totally like this is a nice breath of fresh air from all the Theater of Blood I just did. Yeah. As far as like my opinion on skilling, I like skilling. I probably like it too much, like more than you'd expect. I like skilling more than you'd expect. But I think I just like killing bosses more. Is what it comes down to.
Yeah. Do you miss the not being able to level up now that you're maxed, or do you not mind?
Yeah, sometimes I do. But I'm also like I'm having so much fun just like hunting down rare items and killing bosses and making money and upgrading my gear, even though upgrading the gear parts kind of fell off for a bit until we get the new raid and stuff and new bosses. But I think I'm still having a lot of fun going for really rare items. I think wait, what was your question again? I lost my train of thought here.
I was just saying, if you did you miss leveling up? Do you miss that aspect of the game?
I think I can easily remedy that by playing a league or playing another account. Like I actually have a lot of like series ideas that I would love to do. Where's the time,
Yep.
I'll get to them eventually. Just finding a moment where I'm not needed as a dad or as a husband or as a house work person.
Yeah.
In between the videos, of course, like it's really tricky. But I kind of scratched that itch, like I was saying before about the Iron Man itch too. I kind of get those out with like some leagues or like the some of the events they do. Sometimes I'll mess around on Dead Man or whatever.
Yeah. So streaming, do you just not stream anymore? Was that a long time ago, or do you just not have the time for it?
Well, you said you watched my Inferno streams from 2020, so like I did try out streaming, and I think it was definitely the right play for Inferno, because it was kind of like you had to be there for like when I was going for that, and like that was it.
Yeah.
It was, but I never really liked it. I feel like people were always telling me that I should stream, but I just never wanted to stream. Like I never really went into content creation to become a streamer.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
that was just never what I wanted to do. I've done a few streams in the since then, mostly just on YouTube. Like sometimes I'll pull it up, but it's usually for like special occasions, like if there's a new quest dropping. Like I think I streamed for Desert Treasure 2 for a couple days. I streamed for the Final Dawn with the Doom boss a little bit. Just a couple days, really. I think that's like a fun way for me to stream, but like, yeah, it's not for. I don't know if it's for me, man. I
Yeah.
enjoy just not having the pressure of streaming, I guess.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
just enjoying the game. It takes you away from the enjoyment a little bit sometimes, I think.
It can. It can. Like I've taken my own step away from streaming over the past like year plus. And so I stream here and there, but it's just I don't get that same. I think because YouTube's picked up a little bit since, just that slow growth of YouTube, and then Spotify and stuff doing the podcast and stuff. It just allowed me to take a breather from streaming, whereas streaming used to be like the lifeline. It's just stressful. It's a stressful thing for some people, and myself, just my own anxiety of like, hey, I'm now live to anybody in the world that wants to just click on the stream and just say whatever they want. I'm like, here,
there's a lot that like kind of goes into it. I feel like you just got to be built for it, like kind of like you have to be built for making really good YouTube content. Like you just like everyone's kind of different and has their strengths and weaknesses, and I feel like I tried out streaming, but I don't know, I just don't like. I'll still do it for big events. Like I like doing like, oh, this is the thing, like guys, let's go and do this cool new quest or whatever. Like that's fun. Doing my videos though for it is like, do I want to stream 3,000 solo nightmares on my Iron Man? No. Like there's only so much you could talk about, and so many angles you could do to make it interesting, I think.
It is true. I feel like I just get in my head too, because I'm like I feel like I'm bored. If I'm bored in my head, I project that onto my audience. I'm like, surely they're bored as hell too if I'm bored. So a lot of people just want to chill in a stream though, because I'll catch myself, still watching streams all the time, and I don't care what the streamer is doing really. I'm just vibing. I'm doing my own thing and just having it on in the background. And I feel like as the streamer, it's hard to remember that, because when you're so locked into the stream, you feel like everybody in your audience is also just as locked in. At least that's what I would do. I'd like project that onto other people, and I'm like, I need to just relax and just fucking loosen up a little bit, because I would take it too seriously, I think, a lot of the time.
I think that's how I am too. Like I just like, if I'm gonna do something like that, I want to go all in. Yeah. And then if I do that for streaming, it kind of takes away from my videos for sure. Like it definitely will. Not just like the time, but like, I'll be forgetting to save certain things, or like I won't, like, I think I was listening to your podcast with Nublet recently. Yeah. And I think you're saying the same thing, where you kind of like, it takes you out of like what you're recording a little bit sometimes, and sometimes it's good. You have like chat like vibes with it. That sometimes that's fun too. But like if you're making something else that's different, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to remember that. Hard to stay in that and like commentate how you would normally do.
Totally. Okay. Well. What is next for your content besides this? Like, when do you think this series would inevitably wrap up, or do you have years to still milk it?
So with Purgatory, I already know the ending.
Okay.
Well, I've known that, like, I don't really like make something unless I know like where it's going. As for like the steps to get there, that's more loose and open. One of the things that I've done, that I'm doing with Purgatory, with this series over like my last one, which is Circles of Hell. One of the things I'm doing with this one is like, it's more, I've kind of made it so it's more malleable. As in like, it's more flexible to catch updates when they happen, because that was one of the main things I really missed last time. with my last series was like I was like, I'm staying here till I green log this boss, and I don't care. I'm not gonna stop it at all. Which was, I think it was good at the time, and it was good for what I was doing. But I feel like if I keep doing that, I mean, number one, the content probably just gets stale a little bit. Like it'll be the same thing every time. And anyways, I've really went to the drawing board after I finished Theater of Blood and really like wanted to make something interesting, but still feels like Ingus, still feels like an adventure, but is better for me, and I think if it's better for me, then it's better for the audience too. At the end of the day, as far as like mentally, because Theater of Blood, as much as I'm glad that I accomplished that and like really pushed through, it was probably not the right way to go about it. I initially went into that thinking it was going to be one video and just finish the entire raid in one video, which is completely naive and not accounting for bad luck, which is exactly what happened to me. But yeah, so after that, I was like, okay, obviously I can't be doing that again, or I'm just gonna hate this game, you know, if I keep doing that. So I think I'm in a really good spot now where I have a little bit more freedom, but like we're still moving towards something. And I've been a little bit vague. I'll admit, I haven't said what I'm doing because I think that's part of the journey. I think that's part of the fun to let people put the pieces together and figure out like where I'm going with this thing and what exactly I'm like planning to do for the account. I think that's the best part of this new series, honestly. So I'm in a great spot. I've never been better, actually. I feel like this series actually has revitalized my love for the game in a lot of ways, too. Just being able to have a little bit more diversity in the content while still making it interesting. That's been really good for me. So yeah.
That's amazing. And it shows in your videos, like I said at the beginning of this cast, like you're just radiating passion and you're having a lot of fun. It's very clear to see in your videos. So I'm looking forward to it. And I'm now I'm going to be one of your like first time watchers. Like whenever you upload a video, I'm going to be clicking that thing immediately because I am just very much a fan of your work. So keep it up. And I'm very also honored to have you on the cast today. This has been amazing, man. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, dude, thanks for hitting me up. Like I don't know how these things work. Like are you supposed to like, am I supposed to reach out to you? I don't know. I had no idea. You reached out to me. I was like, yes, like I would love to. Like
hell yeah. Great. No, that always makes my day. Cause I'm, me just reaching out of the blue to a creator. It's like, I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're busy. Maybe they're just not a podcast person. And maybe, cause I've reached out to some people that just have not been interested. And so it's always like, most people will say, yeah. And they're always pretty happy to do it. So,
I'm always down if I can make it work in the schedule. So yeah.
Cool. Well, good to know.
Yeah. Thanks for the opportunity. I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Awesome. We're going to have your links down in the description. So if anybody has stuck around this whole time, go check him out down in the description. Go give him a subscription for me. Thank you so much for coming on. And to everybody listening, we will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.